Okay. Very good morning, all of you. Am I audible till there? Okay, fine. So in the previous class, पहले तो ये बताओ, how many of you have done your homework? Done your homework? Are you sure? क्या किया homework में? What have you done? Second chapter of class 11. Who was asking me कि कौन सी किताब है? And there was somebody who messaged me in the night and said, which book to read? Which is that book? Who was that? I pointed out, no? Fundamentals of Physical Geography is there. Okay. Who has not done their homework? Or please again raise your hand who have done your homework. Keep your hands up. You've not done your homework. Actually, you were absent yesterday. You were also absent yesterday. Half done क्या होता है? Half done is not done. What is half done? What have you done? Half chapter. Half chapter is done. क्यों half ही किया? You were writing. अच्छा, how many of you have written the answers? What about others? Why? क्यों नहीं लिखा आंसर? बताओ. Why have you not written the answer? Don't know. अरे इंटरनेट पे you could have searched and written. No, you've written the answer. Fine. What about others? You have also written the answer, right? Pink. हाँ, I'm talking. Yes, you've written the answer. You have also written the answer. So 3 of you have written the answer. What about others? क्यों नहीं लिखा? आज लिखेंगे. क्यों नहीं लिखा? Why have you not written the answer? You're doing the research on it. Fine. अब वो बहाना चला गया है. You can't take that reason. क्यों नहीं लिखा आंसर? Conclusion नहीं लिखे, बाकी आंसर लिखे हैं. You can show it to me after the class. Show me the answer. Why have you not written the answer? आ जाना है एम्स. अच्छा, you were there at Ames. Okay. Is everything fine? हाँ, तुम्हारे पीछे कोई नहीं है. तुमसे ही पूछ रही हूँ. Why have you not written the answer? बताओ. हाँ? You'll do it today. ठीक है. How many of you will do it today? Raise your hand. ठीक, fine. So there are 11-12 people. Those who have raised your hand. I've counted the number. I'll see. Conclusion बाकी है ना? ठीक. Okay. Let me start off my class. In the previous class, what we've done, in the previous class, we understood that the solar system has come from the same nebula. Therefore, the planets have come from the same nebula. They are on the same plane. Reveal their relation that they were part of the same nebula. So this is one. Second, we started off with understanding the terms. We understood what is universe, what is solar system, what is planet, what is dwarf planet, what are the comets, what are asteroids. ठीक है, यही समझा था कल कि एस्ट्रॉइड्स क्या है, कॉमेट्स क्या है, प्लैनेट क्या है, ड्वार्फ प्लैनेट क्या है, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट वी अंडरस्टूड. देन वी स्टार्टेड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग द ओरिजिन ऑफ यूनिवर्स. द ओरिजिन ऑफ यूनिवर्स was from a small tiny ball, also called as singularity. क्वेश्चंस देखे थे? क्वेश्चंस देखे थे तीनों. गोल्डीलॉक्स जोन, singularity and solar flare we've only seen. So it was one single tiny ball, okay, therefore which had infinite mass, infinite density, very low volume, that exploded. As it exploded, it created fabric of space. As it created fabric of space, it created matter. The matters were in the form of nebula. It was scattered in the form of nebula. Over the time, it has led to formation of galaxies, stars, and the galaxies are moving apart. They are still moving apart. How do you know? We know it by the concept called as redshift. Who gave the concept of redshift? It was given by Edwin Hubble. The rate at which they are expanding is called as Hubble constant. Okay, then how has the formation of stars in solar system and planet taken place? The formation of stars and solar system has been on the basis of the nebula cooling and contracting, the nebula collapsing under the gravitational influence. The collapse led to formation of the stars and the planets. In the solar system, nearly 97 to 99% of the mass is in the sun, whereas rest of them makes up your planets. Okay? So this is the origin, that they have been collapsed under the gravity. As the small dust particles collided, the proto-planet was known as planetoids, and over the time it has led to formation of a big planet called that we see as planets in the form of Mars, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. But still, some of the planets are there in the nebula stage. They have gases, they have dust, they have debris. They have not yet completely cooled down. This is what we've done in the solar system, right? Then we understood Kuiper belt क्या है, Oort cloud क्या है. This is about your sun. ये गलत तो नहीं खोल दिया PPT? This is a wrong PPT. No, this is the right PPT. Okay, so now then we started understanding the motions of the earth, the rotation of the earth, and the revolution of earth. We understood about the ecliptic plane. What is an ecliptic plane? And when the plane at which earth is revolving around the sun. So this plane, imaginary plane, is called as ecliptic plane. It is not rotating like this. If you draw if this is the ecliptic plane, if you draw perpendicular to the ecliptic plane, 23.5, this is how the earth is revolving, right? This tilt is already maintained, always maintained when the earth is revolving around the sun. Okay? Yes, this is called as the movement along the sun, revolution in an ecliptic plane. That is, there is some ecliptical plane जिस पे वो revolve कर रहा है, and it always maintains the axis. Therefore, it is called as axial parallelism, or also called as polarity. So what we've written was that the earth is involved in two motions. One is rotation, the other is revolution. Okay? The rotation takes place around 24 hours. The rotation takes place around 24 hours. Yeah, यही लिखा था. And the annual revolution, मतलब in 1 year there is revolution that is completed. Annual revolution along the sun is along with an inclination, that is tilt, and this tilt is always maintained. The tilt is always maintained. Inclination तो है और polarity है. Polarity means that the angle is always maintained while it is revolving. ठीक है? Then we started writing about the revolution, that the earth rotates on a tilted axis. Rotation की बात कर रहे हैं कि earth rotate करता है tilted axis में. Because the earth rotate on the tilted axis, that it is seen that nearly half of the earth is in the sunlit region. Nearly half of the earth is away from the sunlit region. So this imaginary line, which is separating the litted part from the unlit part, is called as circle of illumination. ठीक है? This is called as circle of illumination. We've not written about circle of illumination. नहीं लिखा है ना कुछ उसके बारे में. We've just written that the earth's rotate around time period is 24 hours. The earth rotates from west to east. ठीक है? Unlike Venus rotates like east to west. Uranus क्या करता है? Tumble करता है. ठीक है? The tilt of the axis of rotation is 23.5. The tilt of the axis of rotation is 23.5 from the perpendicular to the ecliptic plane. Okay. Then you can write this. Next point, you've drawn the diagram, write this. Fourth point, the rotation causes all the parts, rotation causes all the parts of the earth's surface, all the part of the earth's surface to move in circles, to move in circle. Around the axis, around the axis. Okay, so every part here on the surface of the earth, every part here on the surface of earth is moving in the circles. Around what? Around the tilted axis. There's a tilted axis, every part moves in the circle. Be it at the equator, be it at the tropics, be it at the mid latitude, be it at the Arctic circle. So every part. So here even at Arctic, even at your equator, every part moves in a circle. At tropic, every point is moving in circle. At the Arctic circle, it is moving in circles. It is here also at the tropics moving in circles. At the temperate region also it is moving at the circles, right? You understand the latitudes. 0 degrees equator, pata hai, 23.5 degree north is Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree south is Tropic of 66.5 degree north is 66.5 degrees Arctic circle, 66.5 degree south is Antarctic circle. ठीक है, तो आपको ये पता है. तो हर point, every point on the earth starts moving in the circle. Why it is moving? Because the earth as a whole is rotating, it is turning. ठीक है, that's what we've written. Then write this was the fourth point, write the fifth point. The speed of rotation, varies. The speed of rotation differs. Yeah, varies by latitude. Right? So speed, just 1 second, just listen. Speed is equal to distance upon time. This is a formula, right? CSAT. You might have read in CSAT. Speed is equal to distance upon time. Entire earth, be it at the equator, be it at tropics, be it at temperate region, be it at poles, the entire earth rotates in 24 hours. 24 hours it rotates. It's not that equator will rotate in 24 hours and pole will rotate in 12 hours. The entire earth is rotating at 24 hours. So when time is same, everybody is rotating at 24 hours. So if greater would be the distance, the speed would be more, right? So if let's say this is equator, this is tropics, this is Arctic circle, this is pole. Where do you think the speed is maximum then? So the speed of rotation is maximum at equator because the distance is maximum. So the speed of rotation is varying as per the latitude. That as you move away from the equator, the speed of rotation differs. समझ आ रहा है? Equator turns at a very fast pace, at a very fast speed, because it has to cover more distance. From A to B, I have to cover in 12 hours. From A to B, I have to cover in 12 hours. From A to B, I have to cover in 12 hours. Again from A to B, it is 12 hours. So because this has to be more distance has to be covered. More distance is covered at equator. It will have to move at a faster speed. But less distance has to be covered at Arctic. It will start moving at a lesser speed. So what I am saying, the speed of rotation varies as per latitude. In bracket, it is more at equator. It is more at equator and less at high latitudes. And less at high latitudes. Okay, right? Effect of rotation, right? The effect of rotation. What is the effect of rotation? First point, effect of rotation, first point. It leads to generation of a force called as Coriolis force. It leads to generation of a force called as Coriolis force. Okay, what is it? We'll understand. Just write for now. It leads to generation of a force called as Coriolis force. which deflects the object to the right, which deflects the object to the right in the northern hemisphere, and to the left in the southern hemisphere. It reflects the object to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Now let's understand what is Coriolis force. ठीक है, अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं what is Coriolis force. Suppose
इक्वेटर से पोल की तरफ हमें पता है टेम्परेचर कम होता जाता है क्योंकि सूर्य की किरणें
बाप रे. Now let's understand what is Coriolis force. पहले तो इसका वॉल्यूम कैसे कम करते हैं. वॉल्यूम ऐसे कम, ठीक है. पहले तो let's understand what's happening. This is the whole thing that is rotating. The speed of rotation is maximum at the equator and it is less at the poles. Suppose you, whenever the thing that is in rotation, ठीक है, if you've seen a merry-go-round, right? In a merry-go-round, suppose I'm standing here, there's a person called as B. All of you pay attention. I'm standing here, there's a person called B here, you are C and the board is D. When I try to throw a ball from place A to place B, the merry-go-round is rotating. It is moving in circles. Do you think the ball will reach B? Ball will not reach B. Where will the ball reach? It will either reach there or it will reach there. Why? Because there's something that was constantly rotating. So when the same thing happens, merry-go-round ऐसे है, इसको ऊपर कर दो, ठीक है? Make it like a circle. Now something that you move from one place to another, it will not travel straight. It will either deflect to the right or deflect to the left. Similarly to merry-go-round, I want it to travel straight, but because it is rotating, it will either go to my right or it will go to my left, depending on the merry-go-round, how it is rotating. Now what happened is, this was merry-go-round. If you make it like whole circle, it will become like a earth. Okay, the earth is doing what? The earth is rotating. Now if you throw something from the earth, it will not travel straight, it will either go right or it will go left. Okay, that's what your Coriolis force is. It is an apparent force. It is not a real force. Nobody has pushed it, but it is an apparent force. So because the earth is rotating, here the speed of rotation is around 1670 at this, and it is nearly zero at pole. Pole is a point. Now what happens if you try to sew? This is the rotation. If you try to throw something, let it be any fluid, be it any liquid, what will happen here? It will not travel straight, it will go like this. It will go like this. It will not travel straight, it will go like this. This is happening, why? Because this is the Coriolis force. This is not a real force. Nobody pushed it. Because it is moving at a low speed, this is moving at a fast speed. The things they start deflecting. Right? So this is what your Coriolis force is. The best way to understand is merry-go-round. You throw something, it will not travel straight, it will deflect. The same is happening with your earth. The earth is rotating. The speed is reducing. The speed is more here, the speed is less here. You try to throw something here, it will not go from A to B. It will rather, by the time it wanted to reach B, this is the place where it will reach. This has already moved. So things are moving like this. The things, they turn like this. The same thing. Yahan se if you are throwing something, because it is moving like this, west to east, it could have traveled straight, but it will not travel straight. Something has already moved, therefore it is turning. So deflection is to the right in the northern hemisphere. Deflection is to the left in the southern hemisphere. What you just need to understand is, we'll not go much deeper in it for now. What you just need to understand is, understand merry-go-round. It will not travel straight, it will deflect, the ball will deflect because something is in rotation. The deflection is to the right in the northern hemisphere, deflection is to the left in the southern hemisphere, right? Is it fine? इतना ही याद करना कि it will not travel straight, it will deflect, and the deflection is to the right in the northern hemisphere, deflection is to the left in the southern hemisphere. So what we've written, because of rotation, the first effect is because of rotation. Read it now. It deflects the object to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. You can write this is because of an apparent force. This is because of an apparent force called as, this is because of an apparent force called as Coriolis force. Coriolis Coriolis force. How many of you were absent yesterday? यहाँ से 1 2, there were only 3 girls. आप भी absent थे? You were there? You were absent. क्या हो गया? Why were you absent? One request, please don't miss geography classes. अगर नहीं भी समझ आ रहा है, stay here. Stay at it. Ask me after the class. Don't miss geography classes. Things are linked. Now, nebula is linked to the interior. Rotation is linked to the solar system. So, अभी तो एक ही class हुआ है. Don't miss the classes. In case you are missing the classes, at least ask for notes. Read those notes. Notes पढ़ें और जो नहीं समझ रहा है वो पूछें, because geography काफी interconnected है, ठीक है? So don't miss your classes. Fine. Anybody from the boys who had come today? You are new. आप आए थे कल? Anybody who is new? Okay, fine. Now, first tell me, why does the earth rotate? Earth rotates. Why does the earth rotates? Earth rotate क्यों करता है? Or for that matter, why does all the solar planet rotate? Yes, you are there. What? Centrifugal force. There's a pull away from the sun. So there is a pull towards sun, centripetal force or the gravitational force. There is equal and opposite balance. Centrifugal force. What happens? If there would have been no opposite force, earth would have fallen into sun. There is something that is maintaining the place where the earth is. So here what happens? Because there is this pull, what does the earth start doing? To maintain stability, it starts rotating. Torque movement बोलते हैं. There is a torque movement that taken place and therefore the earth starts rotating. It is because there is a pull towards sun, there is a pull away from the sun, and therefore to maintain its stability, there is a torque movement. The torque movement allows it to rotate. That is the reason all the planets rotate, because एक sun इसको अपनी तरफ खींच रहा है, एक opposite force उधर होता है, तो balance करने के लिए वो rotate करना start करते हैं, ठीक है? So while it is rotating, what is happening? There is an apparent force that is being generated, not the real force, called as Coriolis force, which deflects the things to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Now we know that earth rotates. We know that the earth rotates. So this is, there is sun, there is a pull, centripetal pull, there is a pull away, centrifugal. This is the reason it is rotating. The earth has what? Earth has water. Earth has water. Earth has continents. As the earth is rotating, here the water is getting also pulled. The water also gets pulled. Equal and opposite force, the water gets pulled here also. Okay. So what happens? This was, let's say, the initial water level. This was, let's say, the initial water level. Okay. There is a pull which will pull the water level also. There is a pull away that will pull the water level away also. Can you see what has developed? There is a high level of the water that has increased. This is the earth. It was surrounded by the water. Centripetal pull of the sun. Okay. The centrifugal pull of the earth. The water level starts moving. The water level starts moving. The water level has increased here. The water level has increased here. What do you call this as? You call this as tide. Okay. You also call this as tide. This is what? High tide. Right? This is what is high tide. Suppose you are standing at place A. A is experiencing As A is here, will come here. A will come here. So A will experience high tide. Again A goes back. A comes here. As the earth rotates, A comes here. A will move no in circles. Every place is moving in circles. So A is also moving in circles. A has come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. As A comes here, what does A experience? High tide. As A goes back again, A is come here, experiences high tide. Can I say every place on earth experiences 2 high tides and 2 low tides every day? That is happening. Why? Because of the rotation. The earth is rotating. As the earth is rotating, every place experiences what? 2 high tides and 2 low tides. Because what? The tide itself are formed because of the gravitational pull of sun and the centrifugal, and the earth is rotating. As the earth is rotating, A will experience high tide, A will experience high tide. If the A is, this is how it is moving, right? Moving. So here this was A. Here A comes, A has experienced high tide. A goes there, A experiences high tide. Similarly, every place on earth, here B also, B is moving here in circles, B is moving in circles. So B experiences high tide, B experiences high tide. So every place on earth can experience 2 high tides and 2 low tides in every day. Every day you can experience 2 high tide and 2 low tide. Why? Because of the rotation. So the place is experiencing high tide because the earth is rotating. Why is the tide forming? Tide is forming because sun is pulling the water. There is a centrifugal force also. The water table is disturbed. The water level is disturbed. Rather than being equal, the water level has become what? The water level has changed. But this is rotation, no? Rotation is going on. So water level change हो रहा है because of the gravitational pull and the centrifugal force. But because it is rotating, the places they experiences tide. Here high tide, here it comes low tide, here it high tide, again here it comes low tide. So every place is experiencing what? A high tide and a low tide. Yes, there are high tides in the polar regions. मतलब frozen है तो नहीं रहेगा because it is frozen है. But if in temperate regions you see the highest high tide are found in Newfoundland region. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ इक्वेटर पे रहता है. In the Newfoundland region also the island that belongs to Canada, you have high tides. अगर ice frozen है, obviously if it is frozen then you will not experience tide. Yes. Actually ये बहुत simplistic depiction है tide का. If I talk about tide as a subject, my problem is I have taught optional also. ठीक है, तो फिर I really go deep. So I'm trying to avoid that. ठीक है, tide is a, you can see tide from a global phenomena, you can see tide from a regional phenomena, you can see tide from a local phenomena. The first theory about the tide was tide is a global phenomenon, that is centripetal pull of the moon and the centrifugal force of earth. That's a very simplistic depiction. Tide बहुत deeper idea है, ठीक है, वो आपकी ocean की depth से भी influence होता है, continental shelf से भी influence होता है. Let me understand. No, it is not that there will only be 2 high tides. This is a global phenomena. Tide local phenomena होता है. It's like ये ocean basin है. ये ocean basin भी तो हिल रहा है. As the earth is rotating, the ocean basin is also happening. So you will not experience 2 high tide always. There are examples where you do not experience 2 high tides. There are places where you experience 1 high tide a day. There are examples where you experience mixed tides. I am telling you a very simplistic depiction. ठीक है, तो it is not always that you will have 2 high tides. Here I am trying to explain it on a perspective of global phenomena. अगर आप regional में जाओगे और local में जाओगे तो बहुत exceptions. ठीक है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि यही होता है. ओके, तो आप मुझसे पूछ रहे ऐसा क्यों होता है, ऐसा ही क्यों होता है. मैं कह रही हूँ ऐसा होता ही नहीं, मैं सिंपल तरीके से आपको समझा रही हूँ. ठीक है, सो अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम राइटिंग. इफेक्ट ऑफ रोटेशन, 1 Coriolis force is clear. Second, write the point. Each place experiences tide. Because of Earth's rotation. In bracket you can write tides are formed because of the gravitational tides are formed because of the gravitational pull of the sun and moon and the centrifugal force of the earth and the centrifugal force of the earth. Okay, so you can show this as you can make two circles. You can show earth, again earth here, you have a this is, let's say, the water. This is the water, normal, but you have your sun here, you have a sun here, and how is the water table? The water level becomes like this. Show two bulge here, show one and two bulge. This is one bulge, this is another bulge. This bulge is because of the gravitational pull of sun. This is because of the centrifugal force of the earth. And as the place rotates, as the earth rotates, each place can experience tide. Yes, please. When does the आप इसको ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस करो, यहाँ से वाटर हाई है, यहाँ वाटर टेबल हाई है, यहाँ पे क्या होगा, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Imagining in 3D, if you imagine this is the high level, this is the high level, this will be the low level, this will be, if it was have been entirely surrounded, the water level have been same. You've pulled it, water recedes here, water recedes here. So A experienced high tide here, A experienced low tide there, A experienced high tide here, A experienced low tide here. Okay, imagine that in 3D. Is it fine? Coriolis force and the tide experienced by the place. Can I move on to the third point? Write the third point. In the effect, we are showing effect. Each place experience day and night. Experience day and night. Each place experience day and night. The place that there is a circle of illumination. There is a circle of illumination which divides the places, under darkness and light. Under darkness and light. Is it fine? Is this rotation, is this correct? Why? अच्छा, आप इस तरफ देख रहे हो, मैं उस तरफ दिखा रही हूँ. It is okay, fine. ऐसे करते. अरे क्या यार. Is it fine now? Is it fine now? No. Can I say this is the North Pole? This is the South Pole, right? And let me say this is your sun. Now, can I say this is the circle of illumination? Nearly half of the sun is in the lighted part. Nearly half of the sun is in the darkness. Can you see it is not necessary that the tilted axis and the circle of illumination will always coincide? It is not always necessary. It can coincide, it may not coincide. Okay? So just write this is the circle of illumination. Right? This is the circle of illumination. This is your tilted axis. This is the tilted axis. I know many of you don't like to draw, but this is geography. We can't help it. We just can't help it. You tell me. When is the, when, at what time of the year? In a year only it will happen, no? Yeah. How can it happen on a day? In which time of year does every place on the earth experience equal day and equal night? See, suppose this is the tilted axis. If the circle of illumination coincides, this is the white line. If the white line and yellow line coincide, that means if I am turning the yellow light line, this, at what, then every place will experience equal day and equal night, because nearly half of it will be them. इसको ऐसे imagine करो. We'll see that, but then देखो, अगर ये आपका tilt है और यही आपका circle of illumination भी है, तो हर place को equal day और equal night आ रहा है. Yes, correct. When does that happen? That happens on 23 March and 23rd or 21st of September. Why will that happen? We will see. ठीक है? Is it fine? Circle of illumination is the equal, is a half part that divides. Okay, now write, just write the next point. Our biological clock or circadian rhythm, CIRCADIAN, circadian rhythm. Our biological clock or the circadian rhythm, CIRCADIAN, ठीक है, coincides with sequential pattern of day and night. Sequential pattern of day and night. Therefore, what happens is, see, in case you travel to US or in case you travel to Australia, suppose it was day in India, 5 o'clock you travel, it take you nearly, around 12 hours, 5 to 10 hours to travel. You went there and it was day again, but your body is used to night that time. Jet lag, you experience lethargic, you experience jet lag, you are not able to sleep because it's day and your body is experiencing, your body has, for the throughout the day it experienced 12 hours of daylight. Again you are experiencing daylight, body is used to experiencing night, so you are not able to sleep. इसको बोलते हैं jet lag. The body feels lethargic. It takes time for your body to develop and adjust into the new system. So why does this happen? Because of rotation, you have alternate day and night and the body gets used to. This is called as our biological clock or the circadian rhythm. is aligned to day and night, is aligned to day and night. ठीक है, लिखा ये. Therefore high distance travel, therefore high distance travel can disturb circadian rhythm, can disturb circadian rhythm. And we experience a sense of fatigue, comma, unpleasant changes in appetite and sleep, in appetite and sleep. In appetite and sleep. Where in bracket you can write jet lag. In bracket you can write jet lag. Okay. Now, what we've understood? We've understood rotation. We've understood that Earth rotates counterclockwise, west to east. Because of rotation, there is a force called as Coriolis force, which deflects the thing to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Because of the rotation, each place can experience tides. They can experience high tide level or the low tide level, depending on where they are in the rotation angle, in the rotation circle. Then we said that because of this, you have day and night, alternate day and night. There is a circle of illumination that is happening. And then also you said our body clock is aligned to day and night. Now I have a question. The question that I have is, here what we've done is, we've seen that the earth rotates and we've seen that the speed of rotation is maximum at the equator. The speed of rotation is less at the poles. Okay? So because of which, now tell me, suppose you want to launch, if you want to launch a satellite or a missile, where should you launch? A, B, C or D? A can be here also. A, B, C. And if you want to launch a rocket or a missile to the space, where should you launch? How many believe it is A? How many believe it is B? Raise your hand. B. आपने तो A में भी हाथ उठाया था. अच्छा, B कौन है? 1, 2. How many believe it is C? D. E. You don't have to be pressurized. हो सकता है E answer हो. Rest, I am getting either answer A, B or E. C or D के लिए there are no takers. What is your answer? I did not see your hand up. B probably. How many A again, please? How many B? What is your answer? 3 of you have not raised your hand. C, D, E. क्योंकि A और B तो raise नहीं किया. I will try to launch it at A. The reason is the earth is rotating at a higher speed at A. If I try to throw my satellite, if I try to, start off my satellite or a rocket, the speed of rotation will give a thrust. If you've studied कि जो speed होती है, ठीक है? If you throw something, I'm traveling in train, the train is at let's say 100 hours per kilometer, 100 kilometer per hour. If I throw a coin, the coin will have the speed what? Nearing to 100. But if my train is traveling at 20 kilometer per hour and I throw my coin, the coin will have what speed? It will have speed of around 20 kilometer per hour. The speed at which you are traveling, and if you throw something, it acquires the momentum, it acquires the speed at which the other thing was moving. So the maximum speed is here. So if I throw something, the object will have maximum speed of the place. जो स्पीड इस जगह की थी वही स्पीड उस रॉकेट की होगी, जो स्पीड इस जगह की थी वही स्पीड उस रॉकेट को एटलीस्ट एक मोमेंटम देगा, वो स्पीड का एक थ्रस्ट देगा. सो व्हेयर शुड आई लॉन्च? आई शुड लॉन्च एट A because it gives thrust. And there is another reason. The other reason is Coriolis force that we've studied. Coriolis force is nearly zero at equator. It is nearly zero at equator. So what happens? Because it is at equator, the deflection is not much affected. It is not affecting the deflection. Otherwise, if you throw something, it will try to deflect to the right. But Coriolis force is nearly zero at equator. Okay? So what is the effect of rotation? The effect of rotation is also on from where are you launching your rocket, because the speed of rotation is maximum at the equator. So we try to launch our satellites, we try to launch our rockets from near to equator. So does India have equator? Does equator passes through India? No. So where, but India also wants to launch. So where should India launch the missiles? Somewhere above the Tropic of Cancer, to the north of Tropic of Cancer, or to the south of Tropic of Cancer? South of Tropic of Cancer. Where do we launch our rockets and missiles? Missiles is Chandipur, okay, and rockets is satellite Sriharikota. Sriharikota. If you know the map of India, I believe all of you had raised your hand ki we know the map of India. So here you have somewhere Sriharikota, and here towards Odisha you have Chandipur, the missile testing center. So we try to launch it to the south of Tropic of Cancer. From what state does Tropic of Cancer pass in India? 8 states, 7 states. 8 states. What are the states? गुजरात, राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश. यहाँ पे सब आ जाते हैं, ठीक है. एवरीबडी इज लाइक हाँ कुछ तो बोलते रहो, पता थोड़ी पड़ रहा है. वेट, यू नो इट, यू विल टेल मी. यू अब तो कुछ जितना आता है उतना बोलो. गुजरात, मध्य प्रदेश, उत्तर प्रदेश नॉर्थ में होगी, छत्तीसगढ़, okay, others don't relax, I'll ask, okay. ठीक है, he's answered me 4 states. आप बताओगे? हाँ आप ही. गुजरात, राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, झारखंड. झारखंड से त्रिपुरा कैसे जाओगे? बीच में कोई तो स्टेट आएगा. झारखंड से कौन सा स्टेट आएगा? वेस्ट बंगाल. झारखंड से सराउंडेड वेस्ट बंगाल. वेस्ट बंगाल के बाद बांग्लादेश से नॉट आर कंसर्न, त्रिपुरा एंड मिजोरम. ठीक है. सो स्टेट्स आर गुजरात, राजस्थान, very small portion of Rajasthan. You have Gujarat, Rajasthan. Imagine the states: Gujarat, Rajasthan, then MP, then Chhattisgarh, then Jharkhand. Gujarat, Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. ठीक है. Imagine the states: Gujarat, Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Is it fine? So what are we looking at? We were looking at where should we launch? We should launch south of the Tropic of Cancer. Right. Please write. Because of rotation. Yeah, next point. Because of rotation and the spherical shape of Earth, the spherical shape of Earth, the speed of rotation, the speed of rotation is maximum along equator, and it reduces with the increase in latitude. Therefore, satellites and other space missions, are launched closer to equator, as it provides as it provides an initial thrust. Thrust means speed. As it provides initial thrust of greater magnitude at equator. Is it fine? So what are we looking at? We are looking at that where do you launch. Now can you tell me, Tropic of Cancer passes through, can I say Asia? It passes through, if just imagine equator, where does equator passes from? Equator passes from South America. Okay, it passes from Africa. From Africa it passes from Southeast Asia. So it is South America, it is Africa, it is Southeast Asia. Imagine a country as, you know, as on a higher latitude, Russia. So Russia is where? Russia is at, you know, the Arctic Circle ke paas. You have Arctic Circle, and above, obviously, definitely above 45-degree latitudes. 45-degree latitude ke above is Russia. So from 45-degree to 66-degree latitude is Russia. So where should Russia launch its satellite or rockets from? What should the other countries do that they do not, which are not near the equator? What should the countries do? Where should they launch their satellite from? And Russia is all continent, right? It cannot launch from the midland. If it launches from the continent, you will see that why are we launching these satellites or rockets towards the eastern coast? Because the earth rotates from west to east. Even if something goes wrong, they will land up in the ocean rather than on the continent. We are not launching on the west side, no? Because if you launch like this, it is rotating west to east, it will always move from west to east. So if something goes wrong, probably it will land up in a region in the continent. Therefore we launch it on the eastern side because it is moving from west to east. So if something goes wrong, it goes onto the ocean. Russia is continent, it cannot even launch. It'll land up, if something goes wrong, it will land in US, and US and Russia, they will have a war. Then this was deliberate, it was not unintentional. You cannot even prove it was intentional or unintentional. Conspiracy theories to hai. If they launch at Bering Sea, something goes wrong, it will land up in US. Where should they do? Eastern part of the Norway, Finland, Sweden is there. Then it will land up in Russia. वैसे ही बहुत न्यूक्लियर प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है वहाँ. What do the countries do? They take help of the other countries, other friendly countries, to launch the satellite. One important country that has been launching satellites and rockets for Russia was, there is in South America a country, French Guyana. In French Guyana, there is a country called as French Guyana. From their place, there is a place called as Kourou. From there, Russia and the other, it actually launches the satellite. It is an economy also for them. Give us money, we will. Cuba, US है ना, US का influence है ना. हाँ, but influence US का है ना. What happened during your Cold War? I understand, but it is at the border of, it is at the neighboring to US, no? What happened during Cold War? Russia kept missiles there. 19, and it was tilted towards US. Okay? So it led to Cuban crisis. We don't want any other crisis. Already there is a crisis that is already going on. Cold War की अभी भी जो rivalries हैं, the block still is existing somewhere. So write about this. Write about one line. The French, the place called as Kourou, Kourou, Kourou in French Guyana. Kourou in French Guyana is widely used place for launching satellites. For launching satellite. Is it fine? So we understood rotation and its effect. Now I told you there was one There was one video which showed that why is Uranus tumbling, right? So it is about this video. Wait. Yeah. So Uranus, why is Uranus tumbling? That's what we'll see. So this is trying to show the tilt of almost all the planets.
Pretty much the same middle. But one of them is doing the side shuffle.
It is tumbling.
Now it's Uranus. Just how different is Uranus dance? Very different. While Earth's axis is tilted about 23 degrees, Uranus tilts almost 98 degrees. Uranus' axis is so tilted, it actually looks like the planet is rotating on its side. How did this all happen? One theory is that a body the size of our Earth collided with Uranus a long time ago, radically throwing off its rotation. Until we know for sure, the planet's strange tilt remains one of the great mysteries in the dance of the universe. And Uranus will keep doing the side shuffle like nobody's watching.
Okay, so this is your Uranus. The Uranus rotation is very different from the other one. Okay, now I'm moving to revolution. What is revolution? Revolution is the movement of Earth around the sun in 1 year. How does the Earth moves around the sun in 1 year? So because of this, what happens is, let's understand first, we'll understand some terms. So there is first important term, there is polarity, that is axial parallelism. Okay? The tilt of the axis is always maintained. Angle is 23.5 no matter where the Earth is, while its annual movement around the sun. The annual movement around, let's say in March, it is 23.5 degree. It is also 23.5 degree at September, at June, at September, at December. It is moving from March to March. It is moving in 1 year around the sun, but the angle is maintained, right? That is one thing. So one term was tilt or the polarity. So it is tilted, inclination is there, it is polarity is there. Now what is happening? As the sun, as the earth is moving around the sun, here there is geometry that is taking place. What does geometry do? It happens that at some place, at some point in the month, the sun rays will be directly aligned at the equator. The sun rays will be directly falling at the equator. So at some point you will see that the sun rays are falling directly at the equator. At some place you will see that the sun rays is here. At some point the sun rays is directly at the equator. Here it is directly at the equator. At some point you will see that the sun rays is around Tropic of Capricorn. It will again come at equator. It will again come at equator. It is again come at Tropic of Capricorn. So what is happening? This is called as an apparent shift of the sun. That means at some point, let's say on March, in the month of March, this is my Earth, this is equator, this is Tropic of Cancer, this is Tropic of Capricorn. Because of the movement, this movement, the sun rays is directly at the equator in the month of March. In the month of June, the sun rays is directly at the Cancer. Again in the month of September, the sun rays is directly at the equator. Again in the month of December, the sun is at the Tropic of Capricorn. Again from December to March, what will happen? It is at equator. March to June, it is at Tropic of Cancer. From June to September, again at equator. September to December at Tropic of Capricorn. From December to March, again equator. March to June, Tropic of Capricorn. Then again September equator. Then again December at the Tropic of Capricorn. So this is what is called, this is called as an apparent shift of the sun. Why is this apparent shift happening? It is not that the sun is really shifting north to south. It is just that the geometry is changing. The geometry is changing. Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, again equator, Tropic of Cancer, equator, tropic of Capricorn, equator, tropic of Cancer, equator, tropic of Capricorn. While the earth is moving in the path, in a path, okay, the sun is shifting one. So what is happening? There are 3 to 4 things that are happening. The earth is moving one. The earth is moving at a tilted axis. The tilted axis angle is maintained. Because of this movement, the geometry is changing. As the geometry is changing, you have the apparent shift of the sun. You have north to south apparent movement of the sun. I'll repeat. There is a motion. The motion is in the tilted axis. The angle of the axis is maintained. Because of this, there's geometry that is taking place. There is apparent shift of the sun. The sun rays are sometime at the equator, sometime at the Cancer, sometime again at the equator, sometime at the Capricorn. Okay? So before we start understanding revolution, we need to understand these terms. So give the heading revolution of earth. Give the heading revolution of earth. And write the first point. The annual movement of the earth, the annual movement of the earth around the sun is called as revolution. Is called as revolution. Time period is 365.25 days. 365.25 days, right? Therefore we add what? 1 year, 1 day after every 4 year. After every 4 year we add 1 day, that is 29th of February, because it is 365.25. So 0.25 into 4 becomes 1 day, which we added in the month of February, 29th of February, right? Let's understand few terms, right? About terms like apparent shift of the sun. The apparent shift of the sun. Due to revolution and tilted axis, the sun appears to move between the tropics. Full stop. The tropics represent the farthest point of the vertical rays of the sun. You can write tropics. Tropic word TROPIC. Tropic word comes from tropic word. The word tropic comes from a Latin word tropos, 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 which means turning away. Therefore, tropics represents the latitude. Tropics represent the latitude from where sun appears to take a turn. ठीक है, इसमें लिखें Next point, during equinox, March and September, sun is shining vertically over equator. Sun is shining vertically over the equator. Full stop. Next one. During 21st June. The sun shines vertically over. Tropic of Cancer. And during 21st of December, the sun is shining vertically over Tropic of Capricorn. Is it fine? So I said, for you to understand revolution, you need to understand 2-3 things. One, tilt. Other, polarity. You understand tilt and polarity? Tilt is 23.5. Polarity is no matter where the earth is, the angle will be maintained. Then you need to understand the apparent shift of the sun, that the sun is shifting. Apparent shift. Sun is sometimes vertically at the equator, sometimes at 23.5, sometimes at 23.5 degree north, and sometimes at 23.5 degree south. Now, see, this is how the earth actually moves around the sun. Can you see that the movement? If I look at this, the earth is moving around the sun. At March, it is there. At June, it is here. At September, it is here. At December, it is here. So, March, June, September, and December. If you look at it carefully, can you see that the movement is not a true circle? Is it moving in a circular path? It is moving in a elliptical path. So my question to you is, do you think when the earth is near to sun, it will have summers, and when the earth is away from the sun, it will have winters? Seasons क्या है? यही तो है. Sun के पास हैं तो summers, sun से दूर हैं तो winters. Yes or no? How many yes? Yes, this is logical. How many say yes? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those who have not raised your hand, what is the problem here? If it is near the sun, it will have summers. If it is away from the sun, it will have winters. It is not true circle. Is it a true circle? Can you see? No, it is not a true circle. So when it is near to the sun, it will have summers. When it is far away from the sun, it will have winters. It is near to the sun, summers. If it is far away from the sun, December, winters. No? What is wrong? क्या प्रॉब्लम है? बताओ, what is the problem? Those who said this is the reason for season, they are wrong. This is not the season for reason. This is not the reason for the season, sorry. If I talk about earth and sun, they are near to each other on 3rd of January. Earth and sun are near to each other on 3rd of January, which is for the northern hemisphere, which is the winter time. And they are far away from each other on 4th of July, which is the summer time. So it does not matter whether the revolution is in the circular path. Even if you are telling me this thing, this is the sun, this is the motion. So here, as it is away, it will be winters. As it is near, it will be summers. I say no, this is not the reason. Even if the movement would have been in the circular path, then also we would have season. तब भी season होता. तो season क्यों होता है? इसका reason is not that it is moving in the elliptical path or it is moving in the circular path. This is not the reason. How can you say that? The sun is near on 3rd of January. The sun and earth are near on 3rd of January. The sun and earth are away on 4th of July. So 3rd of January is winters for the northern hemisphere and 4th of July is summers for the northern hemisphere. So this is definitely wrong. You can see this. So what is the reason? That we have to see. So even if the motion would have been in the circular path, then also the seasons would have been there. तब भी seasons बनते. अगर circular motion होता तब भी seasons बनते. ठीक है, तो write this. The annual movement by the earth is in a path that is not circular. Is in a path that is not circular. Full stop. The earth revolves around the sun. The earth revolves around the sun in elliptical path. Therefore, the distance between the sun and earth is not an important determinant. Is not an important determinant. In the seasonal fluctuation. Of temperature, intensity of light, duration of the day. Can write? The sun is closest to earth at perihelion. That is 3rd of January. That is on the 3rd of January. Achha. The sun is closest to earth at perihelion. Perihelion. P stands for peri. P stands for pass. तो sun और earth pass में है at perihelion. Helion मतलब sun होता है. ठीक है. So perihelion. Sun pass में है. Perihelion on 3rd of January. While the sun is away from earth, away from earth at aphelion. A for away, A for apy. ठीक है. APEHELION. A for away, A for apy. That is on 4th of July. The 4th of July. So पास है कब? जनवरी में. अवे कब है? जुलाई में. तो ये तो इंपॉर्टेंट रोल नहीं प्ले कर रहा. द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन सन एंड अर्थ इज नॉट प्लेइंग एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. एक फैक्ट भी लिख लो. अर्थ इज 3.3% क्लोजर. Earth is 3.3% closer during northern hemisphere winters. Than during the northern hemisphere summers than during the northern hemisphere summers. ठीक है? Is it fine? No. Then why do we have seasons? Why do we have seasons? If this is not responsible, तो seasons होते क्यों हैं? बताओ. One reason you are saying apparent shift. Second, tilted angle. If there have been no tilt, imagine there had been no tilt. Here, this is the equator. This is no tilt, no tilt, no tilt. What is happening? This, as there is no tilt, then can you see that in wherever the earth is, so this is my earth, no tilt, okay, perpendicular to the ecliptic plane, perpendicular to the ecliptic plane. Can you see that the north hemisphere, the northern pole is receiving light, the southern pole is also receiving light. Here also the northern pole is receiving light, the southern pole is receiving light. Here also the northern pole is receiving light, southern pole is receiving light. Similar here also, because there is no tilt, each place is receiving light. So itna season nahi hota. But now imagine there is a tilt. Now what is happening? Here the northern hemisphere, the northern pole has been away from the sunlight. Here the northern pole is away from the sunlight. Here the southern pole is away from the sunlight, the northern pole is near. The northern pole is near but the southern pole is away. So because you have tilt, what is happening? Sometime the southern pole is under the sunlight and the northern pole is away. Or other way, the northern pole is under the sunlight or the southern pole is away. Are you getting this? It is because the major reason is what? The major reason is tilt and the movement. It does not matter the movement is circular or the movement is elliptical. That does not matter. It is the tilt and the movement, either in circular one or in the elliptical. Why movement? Because the movement will decide that which pole, the north pole or the southern pole is near the sunlight or the away from the sunlight. So what are the reasons? The reason is tilt, the reason is revolution, the reason is apparent shift of the sun, and the reason is also polarity, because the tilt is maintaining its angle. Had the tilt changed the angle, then there would have been some issues, there would have been some different kind of distance. So tilt, polarity, tilt is maintained, it is moving around the sun, whether elliptical, whether circular does not matter, and apparent shift of the sun. Because of this geometry, there is apparent shift of the sun that is happening. So what are the reasons for seasons? The reasons for seasons are, one, the tilted angle, the tilt angle, or the earth's axis is tilted. The earth's axis is tilted. Second, revolution. Third, polarity. Fourth is apparent shift of the sun. The apparent shift of the sun. Do you want to write what is polarity? लिख लो. Polarity refers to, you understand apparent shift तो हमने लिख ही लिया. You understand tilt, you understand movement, just write polarity. Polarity refers to no matter where the earth is while revolving around the sun, comma, the axis is parallel to its orientation. The axis is parallel to its orientation. Is it fine? Now do one thing. See what is happening. See what is happening here. We'll see the video also later, but then before this we'll watch this. Now see what is happening. When I'll start off, let's say I'll start off with the March season. Okay, I'll start off with March. What is happening? In the month of March, the tilted axis and the angle of inclination, the circle of inclination are aligned to one another. In the month of March, because of geometry, the tilted axis and the angle of inclination are aligned to one another. And where is the sun? The sun is at the equator. In the month of March, let's start off with March. In the month of March, what is happening? The sun is at the equator. The tilted angle and the angle of and the circle of illumination. This is the sun. ये जो circle of illumination है, half part is under sunlight, half part is under darkness. So sun is at the equator. The circle of illumination coincides with the tilted axis. So what is happening? Can I say every place has equal day and equal night? It is 12 hours of day for every place on the earth, right? Because it's coinciding. So every place has 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. What do you call this as? This takes place on 23rd of March. You call this as equinox. Equinox for whom? Every place. Equi means equal. Nox means night. Equal night for whom? For every place on the surface of the earth. Okay. Here it is shown by this one. Here it is shown by this one. Half of it is in the lighted portion. Half of it is on the unlighted portion. The circle of illumination coincides with the tilted of the axis. Now what happens from March, which was like every place tilted angle and the circle of illuminations were same. Now every place is happening from March. The sun starts moving from March to June towards where? Towards 23.5 degree north. March पे it is at equator. June में the sun is at 23.5 degree north. So what is happening? This is happening from equator. The sun is moving towards, apparent shift is happening towards 23.5 degree north. And which axis is coming in orientation to sun? It is the northern axis. The northern part is in coming towards the sun, whereas the southern part is going away from the sun. So imagine this one, this diagram only. This is your sun is at the equator. Pole has 12 hours of night, 12 hours of day and night, 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Pole has 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Here, this is the tilted axis. At March, the sun is at the equator. Every place has equal day and equal night. The circle of illumination is nearly coinciding with the tilted axis. As you move from March to June, the northern axis gets aligned towards the sun, whereas the southern axis goes away from the sun. Okay, this is how it happening. And the sun, it has moved from equator to Tropic of Cancer. Right. So it was, let's say, 12 hours of day for North Pole. Can I say it will become, as you move from March, in April it can be 13 hours of day, 14 hours of day for the North Pole, because sun is moving towards, if the sun is at equator, every place has 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Now the sun is moving towards Tropic of Cancer. So the day will increase for what? The day will increase for the northern pole and it will reduce for the southern pole. So it was 12 hours of day in the month of March. Okay. By the time it's April, can I say it will be 15 hours of day for the northern pole and 15 hours of night for the southern pole. By the time it is May, 17 hours of day for the north pole and 17 hours of night for the south pole, because the sun has started moving north, right? The sun reaches, by the time sun reaches June, this is how your circle of illumination is. Can you see? This is the circle of illumination. Half part is in the light, half part is in the darkness. And can you see this is Arctic Circle? The points above the Arctic Circle are always in day. So it is 24 hours of day for the Arctic Circle and above. 24 hours of daylight for Russia, for Canada, for Norway, for Sweden, for Finland. And the points which are south of Arctic Circle, they are in the constant darkness because circle of illumination is this, whereas tilted angle is this. समझ आ रहा है? तो जून के टाइम पे from June, you know, by 21st of June, here it is 24 hours of sun on 21st of June. It is 24 hours of sunlight for the places north of Arctic Circle, whereas it is 24 hours of dark for the places south of Antarctic Circle. Again, what will happen? The sun will start moving from Tropic of Capricorn towards equator. Then again, what will happen? 24 hours से हो जाएगा 23. 24 hours of daylight for North Pole will reduce 23, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and then there will come a point again in September when sun is at the equator, the angle of inclination or the tilted axis coincide with the circle of illumination and every place has 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. ठीक है, from June to September. Now what is happening? This North Pole is getting directed away from the sunlight and the southern pole is coming here. So it will start, the day will get longer for the North Pole. 12 hours say 13 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours. There will come a point in the month of December where all the places north of the Arctic Circle are in constant darkness and all the places south of 23.5 is in the light. So this is called as the land of midnight sun. It is midnight but then there is sun. What is happening? 66.5 south. ठीक है, 66.5 south. All the places are, yes, there will be no night. There will be no night. There will be no night. And therefore what happens in, if you talk about human development index, though Finland, Scandinavian countries, they are first in human development index, but it is said that the human development index is not even catering to their problems. What is their problem? Because see, यहाँ के बाद the winter is starting for them. There will come a point where for nearly 6 months they will see reduced sunlight. 12 hours था, it will be 11 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours and 0 hours. For nearly 6 months the sunlight is reducing and the people there suffer from winter blues. They suffer from winter depression. They have the suicidal tendencies because for 6 months you are not getting sunlight. हमें sunlight का importance नहीं पता पड़ता because we are in tropics. We are in tropics. In the temperate belt, sunlight is the very important source of, sanity, if I can say. Source of sanity. हमारे लिए तो धूप आ गई, बाहर मत जाना काले हो जाओगे, ठीक है? It's like that, but for them they suffer from the problem of winter depression and winter blues. So this happens for the North Pole and the South Pole as well. So 66.5 degree north and beyond, they do not get sunlight for nearly or reduced sunlight for nearly 6 months. समझ आ रहा है? So angle of inclination, I'll say angle of inclination, circle of illumination, apparent shift, polarity and the movement around the sun. समझ आया? Can you observe this from the diagram? What is happening is this. For further more clarity, let's watch a video so that things get ingrained in your mind.
How long does it take the Earth to make one complete rotation around its axis? 24 hours, or 1 day. If we look at the same image of the globe from the top, looking down the axis from the North Pole, we see the Earth is rotating counterclockwise around the pole. If we look more carefully at this axis of rotation, we see that it is tilted relative to Earth's orbit around the Sun. Instead of being perpendicular, it's tilted 23.5 degrees. How long does it take the Earth to make one complete orbit around the Sun? 365 days, or 1 year. During Earth's orbit around the Sun, it follows a nearly circular path, but with a small elliptical eccentricity. The Sun is not in the center of the ellipse, but one of the focal points. Bottom line, the Earth is a little closer to the Sun every January and a little further away every July. Does that cause us to have seasons? Let's think about it. We'd expect the planet to be a bit warmer overall when we're closer to the Sun. When does that happen? January. Is that our warmest season in the Northern Hemisphere? No. So the seasons must result from something entirely different. Let's return to the tilted axis of the Earth. As the Earth orbits the Sun, it goes through 365 daily rotations, while the axis maintains its tilt. On the June 22nd solstice, the tilt causes the North Pole to face towards the Sun, while the South Pole faces away. When the Earth's orbit takes it all the way around to the December 22nd solstice, the North Pole is now tilted away from the Sun and the South Pole towards. This tilt explains why the North Pole experiences winter in January, while the South Pole is experiencing the opposite season, summer. The North Pole is facing away from the Sun and gets less overall sunlight. The South Pole is facing towards the Sun and gets more. To understand this more fully, let's look more closely at how the Sun's rays hit the Earth. First, notice that halfway in between July and January, during the September 23rd equinox, the tilt causes neither pole to face away or towards the Sun.
दोनों पास ही हैं सन के, कोई दूर नहीं है.
Area of Earth's surface will receive 12 hours in view of the Sun and 12 hours out of sight of the Sun. 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Equal lengths of day and night is why this time is called an equinox. As the Sun's rays hit the surface, they are strongest at the equator, directly in the middle, where they hit at a 90-degree angle. As Earth moves towards the December 22nd solstice, the North Pole tilts further and further away from the Sun. At its maximum tilt on solstice day, the Sun's rays are now hitting directly at 23.5 degrees south latitude, or the Tropic of Capricorn. Notice that every location within the Antarctic Circle at the South Pole is getting 24 hours of sunlight. As the Earth rotates, none of these locations is ever lacking in sunlight. This creates the summer season for the Southern Hemisphere. In the Northern Hemisphere, inside the Arctic Circle, the reverse happens. 24 hours of darkness, winter season for the North. As we watch the Earth continue its orbit, the Earth's tilt again moves towards the Sun, such that when we reach the March 22nd equinox, we once again have all parts of the planet receiving equal amounts of sunlight and darkness. The equator once again receives the direct sunlight. At high noon, the Sun would be directly overhead here. Returning back to the June 22nd solstice, we see the tilt move the North Pole towards the Sun, so that the North Pole receives more and more hours of sunlight each day. At the solstice, the Northern Hemisphere experiences summer. All points within the Arctic Circle experience 24 hours of sunlight, and the Sun is directly overhead, providing its most intense heating at the Tropic of Cancer, at a location 23.5 degrees north of the equator. As we continue to watch this process, we can see that the Southern Hemisphere moves through this 1 year orbit from its winter through its spring, summer, fall, and back to winter, while the Northern Hemisphere experiences the opposite season. Note that each solstice and equinox represents opposite seasons in opposite hemispheres. The winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere is the summer solstice in the Southern. That means that sun lovers can plan trips to maximize their sun exposure, traveling to the Southern Hemisphere in December, January, and February, and the Northern Hemisphere during June, July, and August. And if you're looking for the most intense sun on the planet, be sure to travel to the equator at the equinoxes, 23.5 degrees north in June, and 23.5 degrees south in December. Pause now.
या जस्ट अ सेकेंड, बताओ. सम ऑफ और
Bhubaneswar,
हम्म
7 o'clock, sun sets down.
हम्म
But in Jammu, sun sets down at 8 or 8:15. What is the difference?
In what month are we referring to?
It will not make.
No, that should not be the case. But in Delhi, do you think it sunset in Delhi in the month of now only? Let's say this, it was not setting at 8 o'clock.
But there is a difference.
टाइम तो हमारे इंडिया में सब सेम ही है. वी हैव फॉलो वन स्टैंडर्ड टाइम.
But Bhubaneswar क्या उसके नीचे जैसे वैजाग में 7 o'clock 6:45 में sun यहाँ पर जम्मू में थोड़ा लेट है.
So you're saying in the month of March, May. आप मंथ भी तो सोचो ना. अब ये पोजीशन भी सोचो सन की कहाँ पे है. इफ इन द मंथ ऑफ मार्च वो इक्वेटर पे रहेंगे. इफ इन द मंथ ऑफ जून इट विल बी एट दी कैंसर. at the cancer, so when it is at the cancer, it is direct rays is at the cancer. तो फिर भी जम्मू में लेट हो सकता है बिकॉज जून की बात है. तो जून जम्मू के पास है, राइट, एज कम्पेयर टू द भुवनेश्वर वन. therefore that can be the reason, but then that has to be seen.
इंडिया में अगर जैसे कि इवनिंग अगर 6:45 हो रहा है, तो स्विट्जरलैंड में 8:45.
स्विट्जरलैंड में 8:45 पे होता है इवनिंग बिकॉज वो
8 o'clock तक भी सन रहता है.
when are we referring to? Again, when are we referring to? In the month of June. In the month of June, that may be because the position of the sun is at the tropic of Cancer. Because it is at the tropic of Cancer, that will happen. But when we say अगर sun rays 8 o'clock तक रह रहा है तो sun आता भी late है. That also is there, right? It has to come late. For the equator and the near region, it is nearly 12 hours. So 6 to 6, 6 to 7 to 7, 8 to 8. When it is up to 8, it has to come late also. क्योंकि वहाँ पे time duration जो रहता है sunlight का वो कम रहता है. तो अगर it is coming, if it is at 8 o'clock in the evening, then it has to come later in the morning, not as high as 6 o'clock. 1 hour 6 to 8 हो जाएगा. That will be more sunlight for them. That will not happen. ठीक है. And one reason that you can also see is this is the north south. Even east to west there is a difference, right? If you look at sun, when does the sun come for the Arunachal Pradesh? sun कितने बजे आ जाता है वहाँ पे? हाँ, 4 o'clock के आसपास you have the sun. Where does the sun end? When there is sunset at around 4 o'clock itself. So that is because of east to west location कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश और इस तरफ तो लेट आ रहा है. भुवनेश्वर is to the east, right? Jammu Kashmir is comparatively to the west. So that can also play an important influence role कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश में 4 o'clock sun है, 4 बजे खत्म हो गया. भुवनेश्वर में 6 बजे sun है, 6 बजे खत्म हो गया. But then for Jammu and Kashmir and for the Gujarat it is comparatively less. So it's nearly 2 hours of distance between east and west, between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh. तो जम्मू कश्मीर में ये भी एक important role play कर सकता है, right? Okay. All of you, did you understand this? Can we solve some of the easy questions here? Then we'll move on to difficult one. On September 22nd, how much daylight is received by the location in the Arctic Circle? On September 27, how much daylight is received by the location at Antarctic Circle? A, B, C. How many for A? How many for B? All of you, बताओ आपका आंसर क्या है? अब दोनों का आंसर फर्स्ट टू, रेस्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑफ देम आई बिलीव. क्या होगा? नो सनलाइट एट ऑल. 22 सितंबर, व्हाट इज इट? इक्विनॉक्स है कि नहीं है? मार्च पे इक्विनॉक्स होता है और सितंबर में इक्विनॉक्स होता है. तो इक्विनॉक्स मींस इक्वल नाइट. सो दे विल हैव इक्वल डे एंड इक्वल नाइट. व्हाट विल बी द डे लाइट? 12 hours. On 22nd June, how much daylight is received at the Arctic Circle? 22nd June. How much daylight is received at the Arctic Circle? How many for A? Are you getting lazy for not raising the hand? I'm standing here. ठीक है. On March 22nd, what season is it in the southern hemisphere? March 22nd. अच्छा ठीक है, रहने दो, ये स्प्रिंग फॉल रहने दो. ये बताओ. On 22nd of December, where is the location of the most intense direct sunlight on the planet? On 22nd of December, Where is the location of most intense direct sunlight on the planet? Topic of 22nd December पे. Are we sure? ठीक है. Now do one thing. Draw this. This one. Draw this in your notes, and then we will move on. We'll write something. Draw this on the notes. अभी 1.5 घंटा ही हुआ है क्लास को. You still have 1 hour to go. बनाओ. So much of energy. Why are you so lethargic today? Jet lag हुआ है. Why is no shadow zone?
Telling it basically what is in right now. ऐसा डे होता है जिसमें भी shadow दिखता है.
The least amount of shadow बोल सकते हो या maximum amount shadow कह सकते हो. जब सन एकदम टॉप पे रहेगा तब सबसे कम shadow दिखेगा. जब इधर रहेगा तो सबसे ज्यादा shadow रहेगा. एकदम टॉप पे रहेगा तो shadow सबसे कम रहेगा. राइट. बिकॉज that is with respect to the orientation of the sun. नून के टाइम पे. ठीक है. That is to do with respect to the orientation of the sun. That is when was this asked? Okay, in your state services, in the NDA exam. हाँ, that is fine. Any exam, कोई भी exam हो, अच्छी exam है तो चलेगा. मतलब no shadow zone आएगा. Let me know in case you get the question. Right wording of the question, because what do they ask? They also ask कि अगर cities हैं तो कौन से इसमें ज़्यादा sunlight रहेगी, कौन से इसमें कम sunlight रहेगी. वो तो we have heard. That is understandable. But for shadow we'll have to see. For shadow we'll have to see कि what is the question. Let me even search the question in case there is a question that is there. तब तक आप बनाएं. It is like to understand. So it's like understand. Same merry-go-round. If you throw the ball, there would be deflection. Okay? If you throw outside, you throw from the outside, will there be any deflection? So that is what is happening at equator. This is one, right? This is how it has happened. So you enlarge the merry-go-round और इक्वेटर पे आप बाहर की तरफ अगर आप वो करते हो तो वो it is nearly zero. It is nearly zero at equator. So there have been certain calculations done. उसके बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट किया हुआ है जीरो. ठीक है. डिफ्लेक्शन बहुत कम होता है बिकॉज सबसे ज्यादा स्पीड भी इक्वेटर की ज्यादा होती है. दिस इज नथिंग बट डिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ स्पीड. नो डिफरेंस इन द स्पीड के कारण आपका ये हो रहा है. देयर इज डिफ्लेक्शन बिकॉज देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन स्पीड. This was moving at a faster speed, this was moving at a lesser speed. At equator, that is the reference point. That is the maximum speed is the reference point. Therefore, a zero. What is the question? No shadow day. Okay. ठीक है, रुक जाओ shadow day के लिए. Fine, understood. No shadow day. which year the question has been asked? Because shadow zone is a term used for earthquake. shadow zone जब term use करते हो वो earthquake waves के लिए use करते हो, ठीक है. No shadow day. Which year this question was asked? अच्छा, you don't remember. Okay. NDA. ठीक है, we'll search the question after the class. Let's see how it goes. बना लियो? All of you done? How many of you are still making? बनाओ. आपने बना लियो? Should I move? Okay. Done, all of you? Can I move on? लिखिए. Write something about these one, whatever we've discussed about the diagram also. Right? The annual march of season. Just write annual march of season. Annual march of season मतलब पूरे साल भर में seasons कैसे march करते हैं. What are the, how are the seasons that you experienced in a year? First one, right? The first point, on 21st of March. On 21st of March. You can write in bracket March equinox. You can write March equinox. First point. Equinox come from the Latin word. Equinox come from a Latin word which means equal day and equal night. Which means equal day and equal night. इसमें लिखिए second point. The vertical rays of sunshine, the vertical rays of sun shines directly at the equator. Shines directly at the equator. ठीक है, क्या लिख रहे हैं हम? We are talking about 21st March, which is equinox. Equinox come from a Latin word equal day and equal night. The vertical rays of sun is where? At the equator. Second point, the circle of illumination. Circle of illumination touches both the poles touches both the poles, and therefore each place on earth has equal day and equal night. Equal day and equal night. Okay, then right, at equator, can you look at the diagram and tell me what will happen for equator? Will equator always have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night or not? When you look at this geometry, can you look at equator? Can you see at equator, no matter what is the season, whether it is March, whether it is June, whether it is September, whether it is December, at equator it will always be what? 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Okay, so this is therefore it is said that equator has what? Equator does not have season, it has only climate, because every day you have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. What is season? Season is there is variation in daylight, there is variation in the temperature, there is variation in the about the night, कि कितना लाइट नाइट रहेगा, कितना डे रहेगा, कितना टेम्परेचर रहेगा, कितना टेम्परेचर कम रहेगा. That is what season is. But equator, every time you have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, no matter whatever month is. ठीक है. So it is said that equator has no weather. Weather is short term phenomena, climate is a long term phenomena. It only has climate because it is same throughout. But if I talk about Britain, right, if you look at Britain, Britain's weather is so unusual, Britain's weather is so unpredictable that you never know that whether it will rain or whether it will have sunny days. It is possible that after half an hour you have sun, after 2 hours it is raining. So it is said that in Britain people always carry umbrella. Why? Because if it is sun they will open the umbrella, if it is rain they will open up the umbrella. So it is said that Britain does not have climate. You cannot be sure what will happen. Britain only has weather. So what I am trying to drive a point here is at equator, no matter what you see, it is always 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. So what we've written that it is about the March equinox, the sun is at the equator, the vertical rays is at equator, the circle of illumination touches both the pole, so every place has equal day and equal night. Your next point or in the bracket, right, at equator, every day and night is of 12 hours in all season, while all other places other than equator has equal day and equal night, only during equinox. ठीक है, with the star mark, right? The above case also applies to everything from the above case also applies to September equinox. Everything from above, sun is at the equator, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night, also applies to September equinox. Yes.
During
Yes.
the direct rays of sun is not on the equator. Equator experience in day and night.
Because at equator, the tilted axis, the plane of tilted axis and the circle of illumination always coincide. The tilted axis and the plane of circle of illumination always coincides. तो 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night होता है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे हमेशा देखोगे, यहाँ even if it is not having direct sun rays, then also here you will see that this is the tilted axis, this is the plane of, so this nearly same. Here also this will happen. You will have equal days on equal night. Here also this is the case, and here also this is the equal case. Because circle of elimination उसको equally ही divide कर रहा है, even if the sun is at 23 and a half. Circle of elimination divides it equally. Therefore, no matter where the sun is. ठीक है. Write about the next heading. Give the next heading. Summer solstice for the northern hemisphere. Summer solstice for the northern hemisphere. Summer solstice for the solstice का spelling बताओ. SOLISTIC. SOLISTIC. Summer solstice for the northern hemisphere, and the winter solstice for summer solstice for northern hemisphere and the winter solstice for southern hemisphere. What is the date? 21st of June. 21st of June. Bracket में write 21st of June. Okay. 21st of June. Write the first point. The North Pole is oriented. The North Pole is oriented directly towards the sun. The North Pole is oriented directly towards the sun. Second, sun shines vertically on. Sun shines vertically on Tropic of Cancer. On Tropic of Cancer. Right? The circle of illumination. Circle of illumination bisects equator. The circle of illumination bisects equator. मतलब क्या? Circle of illumination is cutting equator into two equal half. Circle of illumination is cutting equator into two equal half. Bisect का मतलब ये होता है. Therefore, equator will have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Therefore, equator has 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. But as we move north of equator, the day length increases. Okay, and the day length decreases, as we move south of equator. All of you, are you getting this? As you move north of equator, can you see that the day length is increasing? Circle of illumination is tilted like this. Circle of illumination is oriented like this. That the day length is increasing for north of equator, but the night length is increasing for the south of equator. ठीक है, right? Thus, and all the points north of Arctic Circle, remain continuously within the circle of illumination. Continuously within the circle of illumination. In bracket, right? Thus experiences 24 hours of sunlight. right? Next one, all the points south of Antarctic Circle remains continuously outside of circle of illumination, outside of the circle of illumination, therefore experiences darkness, therefore experiences darkness. Is it fine? समझ आया? Write the next one. The winter solstice for the northern hemisphere, winter solstice for the northern hemisphere and summer solstice for the southern hemisphere. In bracket write 21st of December. इसमें first point, North Pole is directed away from the sun. So the sun rays falls vertically on where is the sun rays falling vertically? On Tropic of Capricorn. So the sun rays falls vertically on the Tropic of Capricorn. Third, circle of illumination bisects किसको? Equator. Circle of illumination bisects equator. Therefore, equator has 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. And each place north of equator experiences decreasing daylight, while each place south of equator experiences increasing daylight. Next point, all the places north of Arctic Circle are in continuous darkness, while all the places south of Antarctic Circle are in continuous daylight. नॉर्थ जो है आर्कटिक सर्कल के, दे विल रिमेन आउटसाइड द सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन, साउथ वाले जो हैं दे विल ऑलवेज रिमेन विद इन द सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन ऑन दिस डे. ठीक है. नाउ लुक एट द क्वेश्चन दैट वाज आस्क्ड इन द एग्जामिनेशन. Variation in the length of daytime and nighttime from season to season are due to the Earth's rotation on its axis, Earth's revolution around the sun in an elliptical manner, the latitudinal position of the place, the revolution of the Earth on the tilted axis. ठीक है. Nobody calls out the answer. Earth's rotation on its axis. How many for A? Variation in the length of daytime and nighttime are from season to season. Sometimes you have bigger day, sometimes you have bigger night, sometimes smaller day, sometimes smaller night. That is because the variation in the day is because of the rotation of the earth on its axis. Is it correct? How many for A? What does rotation do? Day and night, not variation in the length of day and night. Second one, Earth's revolution around the sun in an elliptical manner. How many for B? Does elliptical manner or circular manner play an important role? No. Therefore, it's not revolution in a elliptical manner. The third one, latitudinal position of the place. That is not the reason. That it is not because of the latitudinal position. It is the manifestation. दोनों में फर्क है. The answer is what? The answer is revolution on a tilted axis. What does the tilted axis do? Sometimes the north pole is oriented towards the sun. Sometimes the south pole is oriented towards the sun, and therefore this is the major reason. So the answer is D. Question number 2013 they asked, so 2019 also they asked. The sun on 2019, the sun nobody calls the answer. The sun does not set below the horizon का मतलब है डूबता नहीं है, मतलब आपको दिख रहा है. It is always there on the sky, you can see. Below the horizon means the sun has set. Okay, does not set below the horizon at, basically where is the sun it is asking. On 21st June, where is the sun? Does not set below the horizon at the Arctic Circle, does not set below the horizon at Antarctic Circle, shines vertically overhead at the noon at equator, shines vertically overhead at the noon, shines vertically overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn. On 21st of June, it is asking where is the sun. How many for A? Please raise your hands. Five of you have not raised. Okay, I'm keeping you in mind. अच्छा, आलस आ रहा था उठाने में हाथ. Okay, how many for B? Does not set below the horizon at Antarctic Circle. How many for C? How many for D? अरे आप लोगों ने हाथ क्यों नहीं उठाया? You did not raise your hand, did you? हाँ ए, आपने हाथ नहीं उठाया सर, क्या बात होगी बताइए. नहीं समझ आया? क्या नहीं समझ में आया बताइए? क्वेश्चन नहीं समझ आया कि कंसेप्ट नहीं समझ आया? कंसेप्ट नहीं समझ आया, ठीक है. आफ्टर द क्लास एक बार बैठ जाएंगे टू अंडरस्टैंड. डज नॉट सेट बिलो द होराइजन एट द एंटार्क्टिक सर्कल, आर्कटिक सर्कल, at the equator, at the Tropic of Capricorn. The answer is, how many did not raise the hand? Please raise your hand now. किसने हाथ नहीं उठाया था? एक बार उठाएं. 1 2 3. ठीक है, 3 of you. Anybody else who's not raised the hand? The answer is A. That is, does not set below the horizon at the Arctic Circle. Because where is the sun? On 21st June, sun कहाँ पे है? At Tropic of Cancer. सन ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर में तो सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन के अंदर कौन सा है? इट इज द आर्कटिक सर्कल. सो डज नॉट सेट बिलो द होराइजन एट एंटार्क्टिक सर्कल. नहीं, ये कब होगा? ऑन 21st ऑफ दिसंबर. ये कब होगा? सन इज शाइनिंग वर्टिकली ओवरहेड एट नून एट इक्वेटर at equinox, September या March. Sun shines vertically overhead at Tropic of Capricorn. This will be happening where? On 21st of December. So answer is A. Now question 2022 में जो पूछा था, in the northern hemisphere the longest day of the year normally occurs in the northern hemisphere the 2022 में पूछा है, तो ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत पुराने हैं. The longest day of the year normally occurs in northern hemisphere के लिए longest day कब होगा? First half in the month of June, second half in the month of June, first half in the month of July, second half in the month of July. How many for A? How many for A? Please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. How many for B? How many for C? First half में how many for D? First half में क्यों होगा? First half यानी क्या? What is first half? 1 to 1 to 15th of June. When is the 21st? तो second half में होगा ना? Second to 30th. First half is what? 1 to 15th June. Second half is 15 to 30th June. So that is happening on the second half of June. ठीक है? The answer is B. Answer is B. This was asked. I believe आपने देखा होगा. The term Goldilocks zone is often seen in the news is in the context of. How many for A? पहले तो question पढ़ लो. Goldilocks zone क्योंकि many of you have not even read it. Is often seen in the, nobody calls out the answer please, is seen in the context of the limits of habitable zone above the surface of earth, regions inside the earth where the shale gas is available, search for earth-like planets in the outer space, search for meteorite containing the precious metals. How many for A? How many for B? How many for C? A B और C B दोनों कैसे होगा? एक ही होगा. How many for D? This is some Goldilocks zone है क्या? What is Goldilocks zone? That the earth is at a suitable distance from the sun where the water can exist in all three forms: liquid, ice and gas. Water vapor, liquid water and the ice. So it is at a suitable distance. So what do? We try to search other planets which are at a suitable distance from the sun. Why? Because then the water can be present. If the water is present, then what will happen? Life can emerge. पानी के अंदर से life आएगी तो आपका you can have this, right? So because you have life, you want to search such planets. So what is this? This is for Earth-like planet in the outer space. What do you mean by Earth-like? Which is at a suitable distance from the sun. So ये sometime in news because of this. बताओ. The limit of habitable zone above the surface of the earth. अर्थ के सरफेस में जो एटमॉस्फेयर है वहां पे कब तक लाइफ पॉसिबल है, उसको गोल्डीलॉक्स जोन नहीं कहते हैं, उसको क्या कहते हैं? एक होता है लिथोस्फीयर, द लैंड पोर्शन, वन इज द वाटर कॉल्ड एज द हाइड्रोस्फीयर, वन इज द क्लाइमेट, द एटमॉस्फेयर, एंड व्हाट इज वेयर इज द लाइफ प्रेजेंट, व्हाट इज दैट जोन कॉल्ड एज बायोस्फीयर. So the limit of habitable zone above the surface of the earth, that will be part of what? That will be part of biosphere. Biosphere, the sphere up to which the life is present. You cannot have life higher a high in the Himalayas. 8.8 किलोमीटर के ऊपर कोई लाइफ मिलेगी क्या? सस्टेन नहीं होती. Can I find deep in the trenches or deep ocean floor around 4 kilometer below the sea level? No, you don't have much of the life. So that is a part of earth. That is a part of earth lithosphere. But life is possible only in the very narrow zone. That is called as biosphere. पता है? No, it is very at a far off distance from the sun. No, distance काफी दूर है ना सैटर्न का, तो कैसे वहां पे आइसी गैसेस भी आइस सॉलिडिफाई हो रही है. अगर वाटर नहीं मिल रहा है तो लाइफ कैसे बोलो? ठीक है. So here, okay. Now moving on, we'll start off with a new topic called as geological time scale. All of you give the heading geological time scale. Okay. Geological time scale. Now what is geological time scale? You are trying to give a time to every important event that is taking place on the earth. You are giving a timeline for the important events that are taking place on the earth. What are the important events on the earth? Like for history you have Rig Veda, later Veda, Indus Valley civilization. So these are the important things that are taking place in history. When I talk about earth's history, the history of the earth, the geological history. There are certain important events that take place, like you have world's coal, the coal forming in the world. So there is a time period given to the formation of coal. There is ice age that is happening in the earth. ice age हो रहा है अर्थ पे, तो there is a time period आपको समझना होगा कि कब ice age आया, कब वार्मिंग स्टार्ट हुई, when was the coal of the world formed, how did the life evolved, what came first, the ocean crust came first or the continental crust came first, when was the crust formed, when was Aravallis formed, when was Eastern Ghats formed, ठीक है, the Eastern Ghats, when was Eastern Ghats formed, when is Himalayas coming. If I ask you, is Eastern Ghat old or is Western Ghats old? Is Eastern Ghats old or the Western Ghats old? कौन पहले बना था? It was okay. Is Himalayas old or is Eastern Ghats old? Eastern Ghats are old, right? So it was the Eastern Ghats are old. Western Ghat और Eastern Ghats में अभी भी Eastern Ghats ही old है. Eastern Ghats ही पहले बने हुए हैं, ठीक है. Old fold mountains है ये, ठीक है. Western Ghats फिर भी later बना है, but Eastern Ghats पहले से ही है. तो आप हिस्ट्री क्यों जानना चाहते हो अर्थ की? क्योंकि आपको कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स जानने हैं. आपको ये जानना है पहले क्या बना, बाद में क्या बना. रेप्टाइल्स कब आए, रेप्टाइल्स कब एक्सटिंक्ट हो गए, फिशेस कब आई, फिशेस फिशेस का एवोल्यूशन स्टार्ट हुआ है, व्हेन वाज. तो दिस इज व्हाट योर अर्थ हिस्ट्री इज. व्हाई डू यू नीड टू स्टडी? सो एज टू डेवलप अ बेसिक आइडिया अबाउट ज्योग्राफी. एक बेसिक आइडिया होनी चाहिए, उसके लिए हम पढ़ते हैं. अब बिकॉज वी आर स्टडिंग अर्थ हिस्ट्री, देर आर important events that we will study. We'll start off with understanding the what is actually geological time scale, उसको हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, ठीक है. तो जैसे like you have for your let's talk up today. अगर आज टाइम को समझते हैं तो we have hour, ठीक है. hour can be divided into minutes, minutes can be divided into seconds. You have let's say day can be divided into hour. You have month, you have year. This is how you divide. ये है तो सेम टाइम, बस माइक्रो डिविजन्स है. मंथ को डिवाइड किया डेज में, डेज को डिवाइड किया आवर्स में, आवर्स कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू सेकंड्स, मिनट्स कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू सेकंड्स. सिमिलरली वाइल जैसे ये है वैसे ही आपकी जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल पे भी द बिगेस्ट टाइम पीरियड इज कॉल्ड एज ईऑन. Okay, the biggest time period is called as eon. Eon can be subdivided into era. Era can be subdivided into periods. Periods can be subdivided into epoch. Eon, era, period, epoch. And epoch can be again subdivided into age. तो सबसे बड़ा यूनिट कौन सा है? You have eon. It can be further divided into era, period, epoch and age. If I talk about geological time scale, what is the eon that we have? We have two eons throughout the earth. You have Precambrian eon and you have Phanerozoic eon. दो ही eon है, Precambrian eon और Phanerozoic eon. हम लिखेंगे सब. फिर eon को further subdivide कर सकते हो आप era में. कितने era हैं? How many eras are there? There are about 6-7 eras. You have Hadean era, Archean era, Precambrian era, you have Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era, Cenozoic era. फिर eras can be further divided into periods. era को आपने और divide कर दिया, ठीक है, periods में. जैसे कि आपने divide कर दिया Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Pre-Carboniferous. आपने उसको Carboniferous, Paleozoic, इसमें आपने period में उसको divide किया. मतलब एरा को आप डिवाइड करो पीरियड्स में. क्या पीरियड्स हैं? we'll see दी कार्बोनिफेरस, ऑर्डोविशियन, सिलोरियन, डेवोनियन, कार्बोन, यू हैव पर्मियन. ये सब आपके पीरियड्स हैं. फिर आपके एपॉक्स आते हैं. एपॉक्स इज टर्शरी एंड क्वाटरनरी. टर्शरी एपॉक एंड क्वाटरनरी. उसको फिर से आप एज में डिवाइड कर सकते हो. तो आपके ये सब जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल के डिविजन है. These are nothing but the division of your geological time scale. So this is how your geological time scale actually in reality looks like. Hadean, Archean, Proterozoic, Phanerozoic, Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic, cost cap. ठीक है, you have CJT, you have tertiary, you have quaternary, you have Puom and you have Holocene and Pleistocene. ये आपकी geological time scale दिखती है. ठीक है, तो ये क्या है, एक यहाँ पे एक इयन है. This is the biggest division called as eon. यहाँ पे भी एक इयन है, you will write यहाँ पे भी there is an eon called as Precambrian eon. ठीक है, तो you have two eons. The eons are further divided into era. You have how many era? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 era. Then era can be subdivided into period. You have these periods, you have these periods, you have these periods. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 11 periods. Periods can be further divided. Epoch. You have these epochs and further there is age. Holocene के अंदर और भी ages हैं. तो ये आपकी geological time scale है. Eon, era, period, epoch and age. ठीक है. तो do one thing. First make the geological time scale. First make a geological time scale. पहले आप बना लो. ठीक है. या पहले बना लीजिए. ठीक है. यहाँ पे just do one thing. यहाँ पे एक there's one more line here. ठीक है, this is what Precambrian. Precambrian.
In Precambrian there was no life.
Actually, Precambrian is very, very old. So sometimes you say Precambrian era. Sometimes you say Precambrian eon. Precambrian eon is divided into Hadean, Archean and Proterozoic. Hadean में कोई लाइफ नहीं थी. आर्कियन में थोड़ी लाइफ चालू हुई और प्रोटेरोजोइक में काफी लाइफ, सिंपल लाइफ फॉर्म स्टार्ट हुआ. तो प्रीकेम्ब्रियन बड़ा टर्म है, इयन. ठीक है, प्रीकेम्ब्रियन को 3 हिस्सों में डिवाइड कर रहे हो. पहले लाइफ नहीं है, फिर धीरे धीरे आपकी लाइफ स्टार्ट हो रही. तो ये है आपका इयन, ये है आपके एरास. एरास कौन से हैं? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. दिस इज योर पीरियड. पीरियड कौन से? पीरियड इज दिस वन, this one, this one, this one, and this is further divided into epoch. अभी सुनो एक बार. प्रीकेम्ब्रियन एरा के अंदर ये 3 इयॉन्स हैं, हेडियन, आर्कियन एंड प्रेटरोजोइक. प्रीकेम्ब्रियन इयॉन के अंदर यू हैव दीज वन, हेडियन, आर्कियन एंड प्रेटरोजोइक. प्रीकेम्ब्रियन इयॉन के बाद जो इयॉन स्टार्ट हो रहा है दैट इज योर फेनेरोजोइक इयॉन. दिस इज द सेकेंड इयॉन. It can be subdivided into 3 eras: Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic. Paleozoic era is divided into 6 period: Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and Permian. Mesozoic को 3 इसमें डिवाइड किया है: Cretaceous, Jurassic और Triassic. Tertiary को 3 इसमें डिवाइड, Cenozoic is divided into 2: Tertiary and Quaternary. Tertiary period को इसमें डिवाइड किया है 5 एपॉक में: पैलियोसीन, ओलिगोसीन, इयोसीन, मियोसीन, प्लायोसीन. क्वार्टरनरी पीरियड को 2 एपॉक में डिवाइड किया है: टर्शरी एंड क्वार्टरनरी. ठीक है, तो इसी हिसाब से बनाना, मतलब बॉक्सेस के अंदर बनाना. ठीक है, शुड आई मेक विथ यू? विल दैट हेल्प यू? आई डू वन थिंग, आई ऑल्सो मेक विथ यू सो दैट इट कैन हेल्प यू आउट बेटर. डू वन थिंग, मेक वन लाइन. ठीक है, मेक वन लाइन and make one line like this. This is what? This is what? A Precambrian eon. Precambrian eon. This is what? This is your, यहाँ पे ही लिखो तो बेटर रहेगा आई बिलीव. Phanerozoic. PHANEROZOIC. Phanerozoic eon. ये इयन है. ठीक है, प्रीकेम्ब्रियन इयन एंड फेनेरोजोइक इयन. इसको हमने डिवाइड किया है, वी आर डिवाइडिंग इनटू 3. हेडिन, HADEAN, HADEAN, हेडिन. हेडिन एरा. हेडिन एरा. Archean era, Archean, Archean era. Then you have Proterozoic era, Proterozoic era, Hadean, Archean and Proterozoic. ठीक है. This is divided into 3 eras. Right? This is divided into 3 areas. One is Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. पैलियोजोइक, मेसोजोइक, सेनोजोइक. इयॉन हुआ, ये एरा हो गया. हम अब पीरियड की बात करेंगे. पैलियोजोइक के अंदर कौन से? क्रिटेशियस, CRATECEOUS, क्रिटेशियस. ऑर्डोविशियन, you have Silurian, you have Devonian, Silurian, Ordovician, Devonian, Carboniferous, you have Permian. ठीक है, ये सब क्या है? ऑल ऑफ दीज आर पीरियड्स. Paleozoic era has 6 periods. ठीक है. नाउ मेसोजोइक हैज 3, C, J और T. Okay, sorry. This is not Cretaceous, this is Cambrian. This is not Cretaceous, this is Cambrian. This is Cambrian. Pre-Cambrian के बाद Cambrian. This is Cambrian. ठीक है. This is pre-Cambrian, this is Cambrian. Pre-Cambrian के बाद Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian. This is CJT. CJT में क्या है? You have Triassic, Jurassic, ये तो सुना ही है, and you have Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic. Yes, Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic. ठीक है. Here you have 2 periods. One is tertiary, the other is quaternary. Tertiary and quaternary. Okay, all of you done? Now tertiary and quaternary is further subdivided. टर्शरी एंड क्वार्टरनरी इज फर्दर सब डिवाइडेड. टर्शरी को आप किस में डिवाइड कर सकते हो और क्वार्टरनरी को आप किस में डिवाइड कर सकते हो. टर्शरी इज डिवाइडेड इनटू पी, ई, ओ, एम एंड पी. यू हैव पैलियोसीन, PALEO, पैलियोसीन. You have Eocene, you have Oligocene, Miocene, and you have Pleistocene. Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene, and Pleistocene. Sorry, not Pleistocene, Pliocene. 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 Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene and Pliocene. And यहाँ पे फिर आपका आएगा Pleistocene और Holocene. हम प्रेजेंटली होलोसीन में रह रहे हैं. व्हाट आर वी लिविंग? वी आर लिविंग इन होलोसीन. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट इयन era period epoch, we are living in the Phanerozoic eon, we are living in the Cenozoic era, Quaternary period and Holocene epoch. I'm living in Phanerozoic eon, Cenozoic era, Holocene, Quaternary period and Holocene. This is what epoch. उसके बाद भी उसमें हम रह रहे हैं मेघालयन एज में, बाद में देखेंगे. Phanerozoic, Cenozoic, Quaternary, Holocene. बना लिया? एक बार इसे कंफर्म कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, लेट्स कंफर्म इट फ्रॉम दिस. प्री कैम्ब्रियन इयन, पैनेरोजोइक इयन. ओहो, ठीक. प्री कैम्ब्रियन इयन, पैनेरोजोइक इयन, पैनेरोजोइक इयन and pre-Cambrian. Pre-Cambrian you have Hadean, Archean, Proterozoic. Phanerozoic में you have what? You have Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic. Paleozoic में what you have? Cost cap. You have Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and Permian. Mesozoic में we have Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic. Towards Cenozoic you have Tertiary and Quaternary. In the Tertiary you have Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene and Pliocene. In the Quaternary you have Pleistocene and you have Holocene. ठीक है, all of you clear? इसमें you can start off here, जहाँ Hadean है you can start off writing here. This is about 4.5 billion years ago. Hadean starts from 4.5 billion years ago, ends at 3.5 billion years ago. ठीक है, Archean starts at 3.5, ends at 2.5. This ends at 540 million years ago. This is billion, okay? This is billion, billion, billion. Here, this continues up to 270 million years ago. This starts somewhere from 65 million years ago. This is about 1.5 million years ago. This is present. Yes, yes. नहीं, even if you don't remember that much, this is fine. इसको ईयर को भी याद नहीं रखोगे तब भी चलेगा. बस इतना याद रखो कि इयन एरा पीरियड एपोक है. दो इयन है, प्री कैम्ब्रियन और पैनेरोजोइक. एरा जो है आपके यू हैव हेडियन, आर्कियन, प्रोटेरोजोइक, पैलेयोजोइक, मेसोजोइक, सेनोजोइक. पैलेयोजोइक के अंदर क्या है? कॉस्ट कैप. अगर याद करना हो तो यू हैव दिस कॉस्ट कैप, COSD CAP. आपको पूरा टाइमलाइन याद नहीं करना है, यू नीड नॉट रिमेंबर द एंटायर टाइमलाइन, बट देन कुछ कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स हैं, जैसे कि आप पढ़ोगे कि कोल जो बना है, वर्ल्ड का कोल, वो कहाँ बना है, वो कार्बन पे बना है, कार्बोनिफेरस पीरियड में। तो वर्ल्ड का कार्बन कब बना है, कार्बोनिफेरस पीरियड पे बना है। जब हम कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्ट थ्योरी कहेंगे, तो कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्ट थ्योरी में योर वेगनर, ठीक है, ही टॉक्स दैट देयर इज अ पैंजिया। पैंजिया कब स्टार्ट हो रहा है, ही सेज समवेयर एट अराउंड प्री कैम्ब्रियन, समवेयर एट प्री कैम्ब्रियन यू हैव एन पैंजिया, ठीक है। फिर पैंजिया टूट जाता है समवेयर एट मिड मेसोजोइक, ये मिड मेसोजोइक में टूट जाता है। तो आपको वो टर्म्स अगर समझने होंगे कि मिड मेसोजोइक क्या है, प्री कैम्ब्रियन में क्या था, तो ये वेगनर आपको समझाता है कि कैम्ब्रियन के टाइम पे यू हैव प्री कैम्ब्रियन, कैम्ब्रियन टाइम यू हैव पैंजिया, वो पैंजिया टूटता है समवेयर एट मिड मेसोजोइक, देन ही सेज प्लीस्टोसीन की आइस एज इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल। तो आपको ये टर्म्स समझने के लिए हम ये बस बता रहे हैं कि आपसे कभी जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल पूछेगा, नो दे विल नेवर ask you. Will they ever ask a single question? Probably in state examination if they ask you, they'll ask eon period epoch age, इसी को पूछेगा, eon era period epoch age को आप लाइन से लगाओ, उतना पूछ लेगा, बट क्योंकि कंसेप्ट समझने होते हैं उसके लिए ये इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, ठीक है। तो यू हैव दिस वन, अगर याद करना हो तो शॉर्ट फॉर्म क्या है, कॉस्ट कैप, COSDCAP, कॉस्ट कैप है नीचे से ऊपर, CJT है ऊपर से नीचे, क्रेटेशियस, जुरासिक, ट्रायसिक। इसको याद करना तो पियोम पे, PEOMP, पियोम नीचे से ऊपर, ठीक है। तो नीचे से ऊपर कॉस्ट कैप, CJT और पियोम, कॉस्ट कैप, CJT और पियोम। कॉस्ट इज क्रेटेशियस, कैम्ब्रियन, ओडोविशियन, सिलोरियन, डेवोनियन, कार्बोनिफेरस और पर्मियन। इसमें मेरे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, कार्बोनिफेरस। इसके लिए उसमें और क्या है, CJT में मेरे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, जुरासिक तो खैर सबको पता ही है, जुरासिक वाज द एज ऑफ डायनासोर, डायनासोर गॉट एक्सटिंक्ट व्हेन, ड्यूरिंग द क्रेटेशियस पीरियड, ड्यूरिंग द क्रेटेशियस पीरियड डायनासोर गॉट एक्सटिंक्ट। आइस एज का एज क्या है, प्लीस्टोसीन इज द आइस एज। आइस एज के बाद अब क्या हो रहा है, वार्मिंग हो रहा है, ठीक है। तो ये आपका जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल है, इसको एक बार आपने बना दिया तो अब धीरे धीरे करेंगे। लेट्स स्टार्ट ऑफ, ऑल ऑफ यू हैव यू मेड इट, कैन आई मूव ऑन? So this is what we've done. Now let me start off one by one. Acha. Okay, fine. It is not here in the geological time scale. Okay, I'll just write some important words. Write some important words. First important word is hideous. Hideous. Write HADEAOUS. हेडिस का मतलब क्या होता है, हेडिस इज अ टर्म यूज्ड फॉर ग्रीक गॉड ऑफ अंडरवर्ल्ड, ग्रीक गॉड ऑफ अंडरवर्ल्ड, अंडरवर्ल्ड का डॉन का नाम है हेडियस, ग्रीक हेडियस, यस, ग्रीक गॉड, इट्स अ ग्रीक गॉड ऑफ व्हाट, ऑफ अंडरवर्ल्ड, या फिर ग्रीक गॉड ऑफ हेल, ग्रीक गॉड ऑफ हेल, ठीक है। तो हेल में क्या होता है, देयर इज नो लाइफ, सो हेडियन पीरियड में क्या होगा, no life, therefore no life, therefore no life. Second, write the word Archean. Archean. Archean means what? Archean means what? Archaeology. Arc means what? Archeo means what? Archeo means old. ठीक है, ओल्ड, सो आर्कियोलॉजी ओल्ड की स्टडी करते हो, ओल्ड थिंग्स की, सो आर्कियो मीन्स ओल्ड, सो जस्ट राइट आर्कियो इज इक्वल टू ओल्ड, बिकॉज आर्कियो इज इक्वल टू ओल्ड, व्हाट विल हैपन इन आर्कियन टाइम्स, वेरी प्रिमिटिव लाइफ फॉर्म्स, वेरी प्रिमिटिव लाइफ फॉर्म्स, यू विल हैव प्रिमिटिव लाइफ फॉर्म्स। प्रोटो का मतलब क्या होता है, प्रोटो शिवा, प्रोटो, proto also means simple, proto means simple, prototype is a very simple type, so proto means simple, so in proto what you will have, proterozoic you will have simple life form, it is the simple life form, ठीक है, that is proto. Phaneros, the word PHANEROS, phaneros, phaneros का मतलब होता है visible. Phaneroz means visible. तो Phanerozoic time पे क्या आया? Visible life form. Phanerozoic times you have visible life form. Is it fine? Zoic का मतलब क्या होता है? What does zoic means? Zoic, ZOIC. Zoic means life form. Zoic का मतलब life form. ठीक है? That is your zoic. Zoic means life form. So just I am telling you some of the important things that is taking place. Zoic मतलब life form. Phaneroz मतलब visible life form. तो यानी pre-Cambrian time पे what was happening? In pre-Cambrian times you did not have visible life form. That was not visible to the naked eye. What happened in the Phanerozoic times? You have the life form that are visible to the naked eye. Paleo का मतलब क्या होता है? Paleo means old. Paleo means paleo channel. ठीक है? जिसे बोलते हैं paleo channel. Paleo means old. So paleo always means old. Okay. Meso means middle. Meso means middle. Seno मतलब new. Seno means new. Paleo means old. Meso means middle. Seno means new. ठीक है? I'm just telling you some of the important words. So Hades means Greek god of underworld, no life. Archean means simple life form starting. Proterozoic means the Archean means the old life form. Protero means the simple life form that is starting. Phaneroz means coming of the visible life. Hello, एक मिनट प्लीज रूम पे आइएगा क्लास में. ठीक है? So you have Phaneroz means the visible life form that are coming. Now what do you have? Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and this. How are we creating the geological time scale? We are creating the geological time scale on the basis of life forms, on the basis of fossil. हम fossil पढ़ रहे हैं, हम बोल रहे हैं कि simple life form, the oldest life form, the visible life form. So you are creating your Earth's history on the basis of what? You are creating the Earth's history on the basis of life form. Not only do you create the history on the basis of life form, but also you create the history on the basis of land form. कि कौन सा पहला बना, कौन सा लेटर बना. ठीक है? इस पे एक पीपीटी भेजा है मैंने. ठीक है? एक पीपीटी होगा आपके व्हाट्सएप पे. ओके, आप इसको वेट. ठीक है? Okay, so not only are we creating life forms, but also on the basis of the land forms. So right, geological time scale is a method. Geological time scale is a method of dating. Geological time scale is a method of dating the Earth's history through various life forms and land forms. अरे हो प्रतीक जी, through various life forms and land forms. ठीक है? We'll do one thing, we'll do writing. I'll show you the PPT later on. ठीक है? So आप पहले लिख लो, उसके बाद फिर हम PPT देख लेंगे. तो geological time scale is a period of dating the Earth's history through various land forms and life forms. Write about the first one. The first one is the Hadean period. आपने लिख लिया. Hadean period there was no life form. Right? Hadean period no life form. Hadean period there was no life form. Second, Archean period, there was simple life form, formation of oceans and continent, formations of the oceans and the continent. See, when, yes, here. What is taking place in the Archean time? In the Archean time, what do you have? You have simple life form, very simple. ठीक है? Or you have the earliest life form. the earliest life form. What is getting formed here? Your oceans is getting formed here. The continents is getting formed here. So you have the oceans and continents being formed here. If I talk about in India per se, we have Aravali and Eastern Ghats getting formed here. Aravali and Eastern Ghats कब बने? As early as Archean time. So what is important thing that is taking place in Archean time? Eastern Ghats, Aravalis. You have the formation of oceans and the continents. Okay, the formation of oceans and the continents. If I talk about Proterozoic, here what you have? You have simple life form that are coming. Simple life form that is coming. Simple life form. Not visible to the naked eye. Not visible to the naked eye. एग्जाम्पल क्या है? सी ओशंस बन गए हैं, ठीक है. पहले क्या था? पहले हेडन टाइम पे कोई लाइफ नहीं है. इन हेडन टाइम देयर इज नो लाइफ. द अर्थ इज स्टिल इन व्हाट फेज? द अर्थ इज स्टिल इन द आर्किन हेडन टाइम. इन द हेडन टाइम अर्थ इज स्टिल इन द नेबुला फेज. ओके, अर्थ अभी भी किस फेज में? अराउंड नेबुला फेज. इन द हेडन टाइम अर्थ इज इन द नेबुला फेज. कोई क्रस्ट नहीं बनी, सब आपका डस्ट डेब्रिस बना हुआ है, ठीक है. धीरे धीरे व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? द अर्थ इज कूलिंग, कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग. एज द अर्थ इज कूलिंग एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग, व्हाट यू हैव द फर्स्ट क्रस्ट दैट इज गेटिंग formed. What is the first crust that you have? You have the continental crust and you have the oceanic crust. यानी oceans और continents कब बन रहे हैं? The oceans and continents are getting formed in the Archean time. Once the oceans and continents are formed, water is coming. As the water starts coming in the ocean, what you will have? You will have the formation of life. So the formation of life starts somewhere in the Archean times. Then what you have? You also have Eastern Ghats and Aravali of India that is formed in the Archean times. Now what happens? As the things evolve, you have simple life form that is coming. Oceans है, simple life form आ रही है. कौन सी आ रही है? Yes, blue green algae, blue green algae and the blue green bacteria. So you have blue green algae here. When? During the Proterozoic times. क्या है आपका? blue green algae आया. लिख लो, ये लिखा नहीं है ना. blue green algae, the formation of blue green algae. I'll just repeat. Hadean time, no life. Hadean time, the earth is in the nebula phase. As the earth is in the nebula phase, earth is cooling, contracting. As the earth is cooling and contracting, you will have the crust that is getting formed. The crust can be oceanic crust and the continental crust. Oceans gets formed. As ocean gets formed, life starts emerging. As life starts emerging, here in the Proterozoic times, you have the blue-green algae that is coming. Simple life form that is coming. Now oceans have come, life has come. Now we are moving towards the visible life forms. Phanerozoic time, a visible life form आएगी. If I talk about this word, now for me this is the reference. What is happening in the Carboniferous time? Coal is getting formed. Coal किससे बनता है? Fossils of trees. It is the trees. Suppose this is the whole land. This is the whole land. The land had trees. For some reason, this part went down. As this part went down, trees also went down. On this trees, the layer of trees is there. The layer of trees is there. यहाँ पे पूरी trees है. You have the sediments. You have trees. You have sediments. What will happen? They will go for decomposition. The trees will decompose without the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic decomposition. Anaerobic decomposition होगा तो क्या बन जाएगा आपका? Coal बन जाएगा. Right? That means I am saying in the Carboniferous period time, you have what? You have the formation of the coal that is happening. For coal to happen, you should have what? You should have plants. So somewhere here in between them you will have the plants. अभी क्या हो रहा है? Ocean में life है. It is the ocean has that the life is there. And ocean में भी the life is very very simple form. The life in the ocean is very simple. So what will happen now? The life will start evolving in the oceans. The life will become bigger. From the oceans there would be life on the terrestrial planets also. From the on the terrestrial part of the planet also. तो ocean से अब land की तरफ life जाएगी. So what is happening in the right in the Ordovician time, Ordovician time. In the Ordovician time, there is forming of the fishes. There is forming of the fish. In the Silurian times, there is evolution of life on land. There's evolution of life on the land. That is the formation of plants. Formation of the plants. In the Devonian times, there is beginning of amphibians. ठीक है. सो कैम्ब्रियन में सी को छोड़ दिया. ओडोविशियन में आपका फिश बना जो उड़ नहीं सकता है. ओडोविशियन टाइम पे जो उड़ नहीं सकता है वो फिश है. ठीक है, तो फिश बना. You have during the Devonian times, you have the amphibian coming. You have Silurian times, you have the plant that is coming. So Cambrian times, nothing we are studying. Ordovician, you study fish. Silurian times, you study plants. Devonian times, you study amphibians. Carboniferous में लिखें, Carboniferous period. This is about the formation of the coal. This formation of the coal. And Permian time, reptiles starts dominating. Permian times, the reptiles are starting to dominate. So if I try to understand this on a time scale, now you understand what I am talking about. This is your Hadean. There is what? In the Hadean time, there is no life. What is after Hadean? You have Archean. In the Archean time, you have some simple life, some life that is starting. Proterozoic, you have simple life that is coming. This is done your pre-Cambrian time. Pre-Cambrian is done. Pre-Cambrian के बाद हम अब आ रहे हैं Phanerozoic में. Phanerozoic में हम आ रहे हैं Paleozoic में. In the Paleozoic you have coast cap. In the coast cap, Cambrian I am not studying as much. Ordovician you have fishes that is coming. Silurian you have plants that are coming. Devonian you have amphibian. Here you have coal that is coming. Permian you have reptile that is coming. So we have done this. Then Paleozoic के बाद क्या था? Mesozoic. In the Mesozoic it was what? CJ and T. CJ and T. ठीक है. Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic. ऐसे ही था ना? CJT ऊपर से पहले Triassic आएगा. CJT बस पहले वाला सही था. CJ and T. Jurassic is age of what? Jurassic is the age of dinosaur. Cretaceous is the age where there is extinction of the dinosaur. So right, Jurassic is the age of, Jurassic becomes the age of dinosaur. Jurassic is the age of dinosaur. And Cretaceous marks the age of the end of dinosaur. Cretaceous marks the age of the end of the dinosaur. Okay, what are we studying here? What is happening here? This is the age of dinosaur. This is the age of end of dinosaur. What is happening in the tertiary time period? In the tertiary time period, what is happening? This formation of the fold mountains, young fold mountains. जो आपके हिमालयास बने वो कब बने? हिमालयास को आप क्या बोलते हो? Tertiary mountains. What does we mean by tertiary mountains? These are tertiary mountains. So Himalayas have been formed in tertiary times. Rockies have been formed in the tertiary time. Andes, Alps, Atlas, they have been formed in the tertiary time period. Alps, Atlas, Rockies, Andes and Himalayas. ये young fold mountains हैं. These are the young fold mountains. Young क्यों? पुराना क्या है? पुराना is your Aravalli and Eastern Ghats. Old fold mountains क्या है? Aravalli and Eastern Ghats. So what is happening in the tertiary time period? You have Himalayas formation. Andes, Rockies, Himalayas, Alps and Atlas. ठीक है, समझ आ रहा है? टर्शरी टाइम पीरियड में लिख लो, टर्शरी टाइम पीरियड, द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ एंडीज, रॉकीज एंड हिमालयाज, एल्प्स. नहीं समझ आ रहा? लिख लिया टर्शरी टाइम पीरियड पे क्या हुआ. अब क्या हो रहा है? सी, हाउ डू आई रिमेंबर दिस ईयर. प्लीस्टोसीन क्या है? होलोसीन क्या है? हमारा एज है. होलोसीन के ऊपर एक डिबेट भी है, दैट कन्वर्ट कर दो होलोसीन के नाम से, उसको क्या नाम दे दो? डू एंथ्रोपोसीन. Holocene should also be known as Anthropocene. Anthro means human, modern man. So Anthropocene should be named. So Holocene is the age of modern man. What has the modern man done? You will write. Modern man has done what? It has destroyed the environment by technology, by fish, by bottom fishing. Yeah, that is what modern man is. You will pollute. You will make oceans as plastic soup. You will go for fishing. You will not only destroy fishing, you will destroy coral reefs. You will not only go for industrialization, but you will pollute. That is what your modern man is. Technocentric man, that is the modern man. इसके पहले modern man पहले बनने के पहले इंसान तो रहे होंगे, ठीक है? हाँ, तो इंसान तो रहे होंगे. तो कहाँ से start हुआ? The early human ancestor starts somewhere at Pliocene. This is the early human ancestor. And at Pleistocene, you have the formation of what? Homo sapien. जो Homo sapien रहे हैं वो Pleistocene के टाइम पे रहे हैं, और उसके बाद अब क्या आ गया है? Modern man. So you've written tertiary, the formation of Andes, Rockies, Himalayas, Alps and Atlas. अब लिखो the Pliocene marks the beginning of early human ancestor. Pleistocene is about the age of Homo sapien. ठीक है. And Holocene is about the age of modern man. Okay, so I'll just revise it for you once so that things get etched in your memory, at least some. You only revise it with me rather than me revising it for you. You revise it for yourself. If I draw this again, okay, I'll draw this again here. Okay, this is what? The first eon, Precambrian eon. This is what? Phanerozoic eon. Phaneros means what? Phanero means visible. So from here you will have the visible life form that is coming. Precambrian is very ancient, very old. Precambrian is divided into Hadean, Archean and Proterozoic. Hadean means what? The Greek god of underworld. Therefore what is there? There is no life. What is the average temperature of Earth today? Anybody? What is the average temperature of Earth? बोलो. No. 4,000 average temperature. हम कैसे रह रहे हैं? हाँ? Around 15 degree Celsius. Average Earth temperature is around 15 degree Celsius. What was the Earth's average temperature here? 35 degree Celsius. So it was no life that was possible. हम इतना ही डर रहे हैं ना, अर्थ का एवरेज टेम्परेचर 1.2 डिग्री सेल्सियस से भी अगर 1.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस से ऊपर चला गया तो देयर विल बी क्वेश्चन मार्क ऑन द लाइफ. सो अर्थ एटमॉस्फेयर एवरेज टेम्परेचर वाज अबाउट 15 डिग्री Celsius. Earth's surface and the atmosphere temperature was about 15 degree Celsius. ठीक है, so here there was no life possible. The Earth's atmosphere and the surface temperature was about 35 degree Celsius. कोर की बात नहीं करें, कोर में होगा 4000 5000, ठीक है, that's core, not Earth's surface and atmosphere. It is only about 35 degree Celsius where the life was not possible. So this is no life that is possible. Here what is happening in the Archean time? Some life form is coming. In the Proterozoic time, simple life form, the blue-green algae that is coming. Then what you have? You have Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. What is there in Paleozoic? Cost cap. What is this cost? Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and Permian. ठीक है, Cambrian we have not studied much. Ordovician you have the formation of the fishes. Silurian you have the formation of the plants. देखो पहले ओशन बना तो फिश आई, ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गे बना, फिशेस आई, फिशेस के बाद देखो क्या हुआ कि प्लांट्स भी आना स्टार्ट हो गए. कोल तभी बनेगा जब प्लांट्स आ रहे, और उसके बाद बीच का जो ओशन में भी रह सकता है, लैंड में भी रह सकता है, एम्फीबियंस. सो फिशेस, प्लांट एंड द एम्फीबियंस आर कमिंग. देव के टाइम पे एम्फीबियन इज कमिंग. ठीक है, तो देवोनियन टाइम इट इज द एम्फीबियन. देन व्हाट इज कार्बोनिफेरस टाइम? इट इज द कोल दैट इज फॉर्म. परमिन स्टार्ट्स द एज ऑफ reptile. You have CJT. Jurassic, it is the age of dinosaur. ठीक है, Cretaceous, it is the age of the end of dinosaur. Then you have tertiary and you have quaternary. In the time of tertiary we studied, you have what? You have the formation of Himalayas, Andes, Rockies, Alps and Atlas. And you also at the time, the later part of tertiary, you have the formation of the early human ancestor. During your Pleistocene times, you have Homo sapiens, the wise man, ठीक है, the wise man, and the modern times you have the unwise man. You have the Holocene, it is the modern man that is coming. Just write one more line and then you can take a break. ठीक है, then we'll show the PPT. Right. There is a recent debate. There is a recent debate. To demarcate Holocene as Anthropocene, to demarcate Holocene as Anthropocene. ठीक है, आप होलोसीन को क्या कर दो? एंथ्रोपोसीन कर दो. लिखो the recent times therefore are referred to as time where human impact is too high, especially with respect to global warming, pollution, the extinction of the other life species, ठीक है. तो दिस इज अबाउट योर जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल. एक और डिबेट है. व्हाट वील डू इज वील डू इट आफ्टर द ब्रेक. यू टेक अ ब्रेक. इट हैज बीन कंटेंट हेवी क्लास फॉर यू टुडे. ठीक है, पूरा कंटेंट ही रहा है. सो टेक अ ब्रेक. We'll not start at 10:30 because I'm giving break early. So we'll start out at. अच्छा, have we exceeded the time? Oh, हमने टाइम वैसे बैठने से ब्रेक टाइम 9:30 कैसे होता है? सीरियसली 9:30 होता है? ओह, ऐसा है क्या? I thought पहला वाला क्लास 2.5 घंटे का होता है. I thought that first class is of 2 hours. The later class is of अच्छा 2 hours and 2 hours. So first is 7:30 to 9:30. इसलिए शक्ल उतर गई इतनी. इसलिए क्या हो गया आज? क्यों इतनी भारी हो गई क्या क्लास? So the first class is of from 7:30 to 9:30. So we have exceeded the time. We have done what? We have exceeded by 20 minutes. So I'm continuously teaching. I'm having a time lapse.
For next 40 minutes, then
Wait. I'm not able to. मुझे jet lag हो रहा है. रुको. It's 11 o'clock. तो बोला क्यों नहीं?
घड़ी इसलिए पे
मैं तो नहीं हूँ, तुम तो पुराने ही हो, तुम तो बोल ही सकते। मेरे को फिर से देखने दो। अभी अभी टाइम क्या हो रहा है? ये घड़ी 10 क्यों दिखा रही है? मैं तो यही सोच रही हूँ कि 10 नहीं बजा अभी। ये घड़ी का प्रॉब्लम है। वो तो काटा भी चल रहा है। ओहो, आई हैव बीन टीचिंग सिंस व्हाट 7:30 to 10:30. I've taught for 3 hours continuously. ओहो, यू आर सच अ सिंसियर स्टूडेंट्स। मैंने 3 घंटे से भी ज्यादा पढ़ा दिया है, राइट? आई हैव बीन टीचिंग व्हाट फॉर 3 hours 3 hours 20 minutes. 3 hours तो आई एम टीचिंग। आई कैन सी वहां पे 3 hours है। ओहो, नहीं छुट्टी तो नहीं मिल रही। देखो ऐसा है, सुनो, कहा क्या क्या करना है? पढ़ाई करनी है ना बस, और क्या करना है? कितने बजे छुट्टी होती है वैसे? at 12 o'clock. If I give you a break now, it's around, नहीं ब्रेक दे रही हूँ, डोंट वरी। It's 10:50, राइट? ये घड़ी, दिस इज द कल्प्रिट, 10:50। मुझे लग रहा है मैं पढ़ा ही रही हूँ। हाँ, actually I have this, I got a time this thing issue today. Fine, tell me, it's 7:30 to 9:30 daily, then you take a break 10 to 12. You have a 4-hour class. No, you are lying. You have a 4-hour class daily. Okay, you have a 4-hour class. So we've done 3-hour class today. So we have 1-hour class left to go. What you do is, you take a break for half an hour. क्या छुट्टी चाहिए? पढ़ना है ना? You want to study, right? ठीक है, so let's take a break of half an hour. It's what, 11? It's 10:50, right? It's 10:50. We'll again meet at what, 11:20. Then we'll complete another 1 hour and then we'll wind up. ठीक है, so take a break of half an hour. We will complete geological time scale. I will show you the PPT and then we'll start off to the base, that is geography, that is your rock system and other things. This is the problem. I was thinking कि हो ही नहीं रहा time, so this is 1 hour late. Thank you so much all of you. मैं सोचूं क्या हो गया, बच्चे क्यों चुप हैं इतने आज?